everybody. Welcome back to Passions Podcast, the podcast where we talk about the soap opera Passions. I am your regular host, LeTara, back today with Maria and Andrew. It's still going. I don't know. It's just like,
we deserve extra.
You do deserve extra. Welcome back, you two. Very excited to talk about this week's episodes with you. How you feeling, Andrew?
It's a week. I can't wait to talk about it.
It's a week, Maria. Where's your head at?
I am excited because I'm getting a small little fan base. So you're welcome. And thank you to everyone that is enjoying when I co-host. That brings me joy because you never know. As someone who loves the underdog, I was always ready for like the hate, but to see everyone being excited when I'm on, it gives me energy. I love it.
You know what? I think it's like you bring a perspective that not everybody gets to hear. I feel like you said, it's kind of the underdog perspective. Like Teresa was like the breakout of this show, kind of. And so, but your perspective is fresh and it is not wrong, right? Like you're not wrong. People just don't necessarily agree, but it doesn't make you wrong.
Yeah.
But I do see you got your Teresa wig on again today.
This is a different one, and it's not Teresa, okay? This is Maria's hair, okay? Let's just get that straight.
Okay. I'm just joking. But I was like, yeah, okay, brunette again. All right.
I can't get away with blondes, even if I try.
Yeah, but your hair does look really pretty. Your hair actually does look really pretty. I meant to say that earlier, but all right, it is freezing here in New York, so me and Andrew both have on our like cozy wear, but I'm sure Maria has much better heat than I do. I
was gonna say, because I am also in New York, but it's warm. We're good.
Yeah, so we're talking about episodes 906 through 910 this week. Is that correct, everybody?
Yes.
Thank God. All right, because that's what I watched, and boy, oh boy, listen. I told them when we started this week, when we got onto the Zoom, I was like, listen, normally with the guest host, I say, hey, where do you want to start? I don't care. We can start anywhere. Where do you want to start? This week, I know exactly where I want to start. And it's with Grace's gullible bitch ass. And that's where we're starting, okay? But before we get into the episodes, I want to say a quick shout out to all the patrons over on Patreon. Thank you to Muna Shea, Lisa S., Zach, Sid, Sarana, Randall, Hannah, Camelia, Amanda, Jeanette, Eric, Jamie, Fantasia, Sean S., Larissa, Maria, Lisa, Jessica Jean, Lauren, Karen, Uche, Paige, Casey, Garrinch, Shawnette, Stephen Winthrop, Daisy, Shane, Kelly C., Taylor Harris Crane, DJ, Kelly M., Rodo, Lisa R., Acacia, Andrew, Jekyll Hyde, and MB. Thank you all so much for being patrons. Now, I know y'all noticed Tom Bergeron left.
Oh, no.
You know what? I imagine. I'm not going to speculate, but this is my headcanon. I imagine Tom Bergeron saw his like credit card statement or his like debit card statement or whatever, and was like, "What the fuck is this? Like, what is this?" And so whatever. But we appreciate all the support, Tom, and I appreciate all of the support from all of the patrons on the Patreon. If you would like to become a patron, go over to patreon.com/passionspodcast. Sign up for whatever tier you find most agreeable. I am going to start doing a few new different things. One is I am going to attempt doing a live stream for Patreon members who are in the free tier, because there's a free tier, so you can join the Patreon without paying anything. And so when we have watch parties where the paid members get to be on the Zoom and we get to like talk and chat, but you can also tune into the live stream and leave comments in the chat for the live stream. So I'm setting up the infrastructure for that now, and I'm gonna try that, not this week, but at the next watch party, like the 19th.
And maybe we'll be able to get Tom to come back.
Maybe.
You know probably what my headcanon is?
What?
He's the Antonio fan, and you just went in way too many times.
I went too far. I took it too far. I took it too far. Yeah.
Last episode, you said if you're a fan, don't even come for it, because it's not going to happen. So he's like, you know what? You can't have my money then.
He said, oh, you think you can isolate me? Well, I'll show you, lady.
Look, we have the Gwen fan here today, so I think we need to have like the Antonio fan.
No,
because
I can't imagine somebody being an Antonio fan. In fact, and I might cut this out because I don't know if they wanted me to say this or not, but Munashe, who is my very first patron of all time, right? And has been and
nice.
Has been so actually, shout out to Munashe.
Yes.
They sent me a message saying like, thank you for the keychain because, you know, I sent out my little holiday gifts. They got one. And they were like, full disclosure, I haven't tuned into the podcast for a long time because I hate Antonio so much. And so they were like, when you got to the point when Antonio's about to come in, I had to stop. And I was like, I haven't responded yet because I had to do this, but I read that this morning and that made me laugh so hard because I was like, man, I feel like you would probably enjoy what we have to say about Antonio. You know?
I know, because that's like over a year he's been on.
That's what I said. That's what I said. So,
wow.
Yeah,
but you know, she could fast forward like we used to do in the days when we didn't want to hear certain storylines. Just fast forward.
Just fast forward. But no, do what you got to do. I get it. You gotta protect your mental space.
I get it. No,
for sure.
But props to her for continuing to be a Patreon member
and
not even listen to it.
Yeah, they'll probably
agreed.
Tune back in at some point. So
yeah, let her know it's safe.
Yeah, this is a safe place. This is the safest space for Antonio haters. It is not a safe space for Antonio lovers, but it is the safest place you could be if you hate Antonio Lopez-Fitzgerald. Ugh. All right. Brian. If you like Brian so much, get out of here. All right. Y'all ready to get into these episodes?
Yes.
Let's do it.
All right. We're talking about 906 through 910, and we are getting into our magic storyline. And we do get some stuff with Tabitha this week, which I love it. First of all,
I miss the magic.
The whole town has taken over her house.
Right?
I have a comment of like, I have a comment about how people are just helping themselves in her kitchen, like breaking not even asking her, throwing things. Are we like,
is there any, like, do you have any reason not to understand why she wants these people to have pain and suffering in their lives? Like, they barged into her home and started breaking shit and then started having like these arguments with each other. So we have some good Tabitha stuff this week.
Yes.
I didn't clip it. I had so many magic clips or like the K and stuff. So I didn't really clip it, but we'll talk about it. So here we go.
Yeah.
All right, people. Y'all heard that, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And you sound fine.
Okay.
The audio's great.
I was just about to say, if you notice anything weird, like when I start to share my screen, particularly if the video is like really, really choppy and it's not, please tell me, because there's a setting that I need to make sure I set, and if I don't set it, it'll be all fucked up. And it took one of the episodes I think it was the episode with Fantasia and Acacia. It took me, like, I don't know, 10 hours to edit that because I had to like add the clips back in, and then but we were like talking over them and we were like stopping and going. So I was having to like line it up correctly, and it was just like taking forever. And
oh no.
Yeah. No. And we were on for so long. And so it was just like, but anyway, if there's a problem, let me know. And I'll try to fix it. And if I can't fix it, I'll fix it in post. All right. So let's talk about what's going on with these people over here, the Bennetts and the magical people. So Kay is missing. We pick up this week. Kay is missing. The men folk have gone out into the storm to search for Kay, while the women folk stay home and like take turns blaming themselves for what's going on. That's what happens in the first parts of the first episode. I wrote, Grace correctly tells Charity, because Charity's like, this is all my fault. If I had fallen in love with Miguel, this is all my fault. I just feel terrible. I want to die. But Grace tells her, if anyone is to blame, it's me, because I made my own daughter feel like she wasn't welcome in her house. God help me if anything happens to her or her unborn child. Okay, I was like, good for Grace. I'm glad that she's seeing like her fault in this.
About time.
Yeah.
Yes.
This does not last long, so don't get used to it, people. No. So meanwhile, the men are outside searching for Kay. They find her scarf in like a pool of blood, because if you will recall, she fell down in the snow and bumped her head. She was bleeding from her head. She was there for a while, just like kind of laying there. She struggled to get up and everything. So, but she did manage to get up and walk away. So they are left with this clue of a bloody scarf, right? So David says something to the effect of, oh, she couldn't have gotten very far. And Sam's like, well, unless somebody abducted my daughter, somebody may have taken my daughter. And, you know, I think every parent that's like their worst nightmare. Like, but if you don't know where your kid is, I think that's the first place your head might go to. Once you've exhausted, like, I looked here, I looked there, where else could my baby be? Somebody may have picked them up and taken them somewhere. So Sam calls in, I think, like, the state patrol or something. I can't remember. He's like, this is an emergency. My daughter's missing, whatever. He makes a call to somebody to try to, like, ramp up efforts to find Kay. And then they go back to the house to tell the ladies that they found this scarf and what's going on. So when they go back to report all their findings, Grace, of course, doesn't take it well, right? She's scared, and her mind goes to the exact same place Sam's did, which was, oh my God, what if somebody horrible took my child? And so then she and Sam are leaning on each other, right? Because they're two parents who have a missing child. And it made me think of, if you watch Beyond the Gates, it made me think of, spoiler alert, Chelsea's like abduction or whatever, and how Bill and Danny, I was like, okay, Bill, get out of here. But anyway, and that's how I feel about Grace. Like,
I love how you said that, spoiler alert. That's literally months old.
You know what's crazy? I just watched it not that long ago.
I was going to say, wait, she got abducted again? It's like, no, you're talking about the first time.
I'm still at like episode 180 or something, 185.
Okay.
I have a lot to catch up on.
Okay.
But anyway, parents leaning on each other because they have a, common pain, which is their child is missing.
Yes.
And then they're like kind of reconciling a little bit. They apologize to one another. They both take ownership of their part in Kay going missing and the fact that she made her escape into this winter storm. And Ivy is talking to David throughout all of this. And you know what's crazy? And we're going to get there in a little, very quickly. But when all of the stuff starts coming out, when Kay starts like making her accusations in a little bit, it's interesting to me that nobody ever brings up the fact that Ivy and David do a lot of talking to each other, like a lot. Right? And in corners, they're in corners talking to each other all the time. And you can't tell me that y'all don't see that happening. You know what I mean? And this is like a perfect example. They're having a pretty intense conversation. Ivy's like, oh, this is terrible. And David says, I know Kay is not one of my favorite people, but I wouldn't want anything to happen to her. Ivy goes, I'm not talking about that brat. Oh my God, Ivy, I'm not talking about that brat. I'm talking about Sam and Grace. They are bonding. We have got to do something and do it fast. And then she says that Hellion Kay had better be all right, because if anything happens to her, then Grace and Sam are going to need each other desperately to get over their grief. Everything we worked for so far will be out the window. As long as she's alive, we can use their worry and guilt to keep that wedge driven between them. But then she very quickly changes her tune, which I was like, because honestly, I don't know that I agree with Ivy here that she's going to be able to, well, actually, I get how Ivy could do it. I don't know that anybody could managed to use somebody's missing child to like drive a wedge into their marriage. But I can see how Ivy would be able to manipulate Sam into like turning on Grace like this is your fault, you know? But
well, essentially, isn't it her fault? Because once Sam left to get Ivy is around the time that Kay left, and she was still arguing with her mother. So I think that Sam could still blame her.
Sam could blame her. Sam would be wrong. I don't really think at that point it's necessarily Grace's fault that Kay didn't stay in the house. She had apologized to her. She did everything she could to try to keep Kay in the house. Sam was not there. So just by virtue of being absent when his house was in turmoil and leaving in the midst of that, Grace has a case for like, this is your fault. But I don't even agree with that either. It's at the end of the day, Kay went out into the storm by herself. She put herself in her own predicament. So anyway, Ivy changes her tune. Because first she's saying, oh, she better not be dead, because if she is dead, that's terrible. And if she's not dead, then I can use it to drive a wedge. But then she says, well, actually, Kay's death could still be the thing that breaks up Sam and Grace, because she might be able to use that to make Sam blame Grace for driving his daughter away. So she smiles about this. She's happy. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was kind of gross.
It's so gross. So much of what Ivy did this week and said this week was kind of gross, but I can't help to marvel at her sometimes. You know, the tenacity.
Yes. She has no sympathy for any kid, basically, because look what she did to Eve's children. Look what she does to her own children that isn't Ethan. So she has like no sympathy, no empathy, no anything for kids. Like, kids are not off limits for her plans.
No, she's not. I was going to make a real dark joke, but I'm not going to. Okay, so then the kids, meanwhile, are in the kitchen, and Charity like prays to God. Please, God, let me figure out where Kay is. John is like, I'm going to put out a missing persons report on the internet. Okay.
That, I wrote it down because I'm like, Sam is literally standing right there. He's the police chief. He could do that. Like, that's part of his job. That's what he does. Why do you need to, he's like, let me see if there's a website or something to do this, as if it's something that like people have to go look for.
Okay. If you recall, in 1999 of these episodes, when we first pick up in this show, Sam, in fact, is looking on the missing persons chat rooms. He's on the missing Yes, he was on the missing persons chat rooms trying to help find Grace's sister. And so that's the only reason I was like, I'm going to let this slide. They have established missing persons chat rooms. So, you know what? It's, I guess I likened it to if your family member was missing, you going on like Facebook and Instagram and just like saying, hey, this is my family member, they're missing. If you please share this. You know, I think I likened it to that, even though we didn't have that then. Like, there was no Facebook, there was no Instagram, there was no TikTok to like share stuff like that. But I just assumed it was some kind of like missing persons board that people would like start sharing in different places. And I was like, I'm gonna let it pass because Sam himself was on the missing persons chat room in 1999 looking for Faith. I know.
I'm okay with it. And the only reason I'm okay with it is poor John just wanted to be involved in this week of episodes. So he needed to be able to do something.
Oh my God.
He don't even like Kay.
There were so many times where I was just like, shut up, John. John and Jessica. I was just like, shut up.
Right?
Yeah. No, there is a point where... No, there was a point like later on where I'm like, this is probably the best acting John has ever done.
Right.
Yeah, he really got
when he
activated.
throws a tantrum. Yeah, when he throws a tantrum like a child. We'll get there, but yeah.
So
I guess
they
needed
kitchen,
something for him to do.
trying to do something, right? They feel like at a loss. I'm sure they don't know what they can do to help. So, Charity like says her little prayer, and then she just goes into a trance. Must find Kay, save Kay, must find Kay, and then she just like walks out into the storm. She just like,
it's the most creepiest. Like, if I had a friend like we can't be friends.
She's a weird girl.
You're way too creepy for me. I don't know what is possessing you, but I don't want it anywhere in my house.
She's such a weird girl, but she just like walks out of the house. She walks past all the adults, like out of the kitchen and past the adults into the living room, right? And then she goes like walking out the door into the winter storm, and everybody follows after her, grabs their coats. They're like, I guess we should follow her, and maybe this is some kind of lead, which fair enough. Honestly, it is Charity. So
yeah,
hell, we don't know where Kay is. We might as well try following this lead. We don't have any other leads. So they all grab their coats. They follow Charity out into the snow. Ivy is dumbfounded. It was hilarious. She says to David, because she and David kind of stay behind, she goes, do you believe these people? They all follow this whacked out girl as if she's magically gonna lead them to Kay. I just love she said this whacked out girl, because I use that sometimes. They're whacked. Yeah. You're whacked.
Yeah.
And she is. This girl is whacked, but she's not wrong. She did in fact find Kay. So Ivy goes on. And her little monologue here was so funny to me. She goes, I can't believe what passes for normal in Grace's family. I mean, Charity just walked out of here like she was an extra in the Night of the Living Dead, and everyone acts like it's just business as usual. What am I saying? She said, what am I saying? She says, this is Hell House. I love Hell. It is Hell House. This is Hell House. It is business as usual. You know, birds attacked this place. The walls dripped blood, the closets, portals to hell. And then she says, and on slow nights, house-wrecking demons come and suck this place into the bowels of the earth. Merciful heaven, I am doing Sam a huge favor by taking him out of this madhouse. I want to point out that is almost exactly Kay's like reasoning for trying to get Miguel away from Charity, right? Like her justification is like, he wouldn't be happy with that crazy ass girl.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the same thing that basically what Ivy's saying, which is like, this place is nuts. This is a nut house, and I got to get Sam out of here. And I just thought it was funny. I liked her little tirade about it. Then their conversation shifts to what Kay does or doesn't know. And things get a little sinister here. David tells her, Kay knows about us. I'm pretty sure she knows about us. And Ivy says, no, I think if Kay really knew about us, she would have said something to Sam, no matter what I did to try to stop her. She hasn't, so I think we're safe. And then David says, we are vulnerable. You are delusional, and Kay is devious.
Yes.
That is such a good. I
love that
title.
I was gonna say that's a good title.
That might be a good title. He says she may be waiting to tell what she knows when it would do the most damage. And Ivy says, well, if that's true, then I hope something bad really has happened to Kay, because if she knows about us and if she has said anything to anybody, we are finished. Grace will never speak to you again. John will never forgive you. And worst of all, Sam would hate me forever. So I have a clip called Ivy Hopes Kay is Dead for us to watch. God, it was a little, like I said, sinister. Things that it took a little sinister turn, even more so than.
I mean, she was kind of saying it the whole time, like she didn't care if the kid died or not. So
yeah,
that's her stance.
That's true. That is her stance. She doesn't care.
Like, you can tell she's been living in that Crane mansion long enough that she's taken up Alistair's way of thinking, because I think Alistair might be the only other person in Harmony that just has no regards to children.
Yeah, pretty much.
Alistair has no regard for human life whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Only his own.
And even then, because he wants to kill his own daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, like I said, he doesn't care about anybody's life but his own. Like,
his own. I thought you meant like
his
offspring.
I mean, he threatened to kill Julian countless times.
Also
countless times. So here we go. Ivy hopes Kay is dead.
It would be a disaster if Kay reveals our plans to break up Sam and Grace. Bloody disaster.
Well, then let's hope that she's lying in a snowdrift somewhere with her mouth frozen shut.
Do you hear, Ivy? You're wishing that a teenage girl is dead just so that your devious plan won't be revealed. I mean...
May I remind you that you were part of that plan?
Yeah, no, you know what? You don't have to remind me, thank you.
Then you better pray for the same thing, unless you just want to give up any hope of ever having little Gracie for your very own.
Look, I don't want Kay to reveal her plans, but...
Oh, but you just can't bring yourself to hope she's dead. Poor David. Look, maybe you didn't hear me the first time, so I will repeat myself, partner. But if Kay tells Grace and Sam the truth, then you will lose Grace and your son. That's right, David. Your precious little Johnny. What do you think he's going to say when he finds out you've been lying to him about Grace being his long-lost mother?
Never forgive me.
No, he wouldn't. And if the truth comes out, Sam will hate me forever.
And so will your son, Ethan. He will see you for the monster that you really are.
Oh, no, Ethan can never find out the truth. You know, he's moral, just like his father. He'd never understand.
Yeah, well, neither would Grace. She and John have bonded so closely. Because of me and my lies, they truly believe that they're mother and son. And they're no more related than you and I. If they found out the truth, it would kill them.
Well, then, if Kay knows the truth, and if she is still alive, you and I had better do everything in our power to make sure her mouth stays shut.
Oh boy. So yeah. Jesus, Ivy. I mean,
Yeah.
but that's who she is. And
Yeah.
And it's interesting because throughout the episodes this week, like I've said, there's not a lot of Teresa and Ethan and Gwen and stuff this week. However, a good portion of the Teresa and Ethan conversation is about Ivy, of course, because Teresa kicked Ivy out of the mansion tonight. And they keep going back and forth. And I thought this was so, smart of them. Between Teresa's conversations with Ethan where he's saying, my mother's not the monster you think she is. And then the next scene is her saying, we better hope Kay's in the ditch somewhere with her mouth frozen shut. She's worse. And Teresa says that too. She says, no, she's not the monster. She's worse. She's far worse.
She's worse. and it's worse than this because at this point, all she's doing is wishing for the worst. She drugged Eve Russell's kid.
She sure did. Yep. And
so just her saying what she's saying is bad, but she's actually done monstrous things.
And she tried to kill Teresa. Let's not forget she tried to have Teresa killed.
Teresa put herself in that predicament.
She tried to get Teresa
That's my
killed.
hill.
She tried to get Teresa killed. You can have your hill, but I'm telling you, she tried to get Teresa killed.
And Teresa walked into it. If she was smarter, it wouldn't have happened.
They were working to get Teresa killed. So, but
Teresa's gullible.
But that's a monstrous thing. That's what I'm saying. That's a monstrous thing to do. Is to set somebody up to be on death row, to drug somebody's child, and then look that person in their face and say, if you don't do what I tell you to do, I'm going to turn your child into a junkie whore, right? She said that to Eve. So,
but let's even go back to the beginning because they're in the situation they are in now because she has this whole fake thing with David. So it's just devious on top of devious, and obviously you see that house of cards can potentially crumble. So, yeah.
So it's all very sinister. It is dynamic though. It is fun to watch, right? I try not to think about it too deeply, but they are hoping that Kay is, she's hoping that Kay is dead, and she's telling David he should be hoping for the same thing. And it's like, I don't understand what you don't get about this, David. We're in the same boat. He's like, I have a little bit of a conscience, but
I would also like to point out that I love when Ivy is out of the wheelchair, but the way that she has an argument when she is in that wheelchair is just it just emphasizes anything that happens. So when she whipped that wheelchair around to lay into David, it was like,
no, I love the fact that Kim totally like encompassed being able to act in a wheelchair. Like she uses that chair to add to her acting, which is amazing to be able to accomplish.
Yeah, it's far more than a prop, right? Like
exactly.
It's far. And what's really cool about it to me is we as viewers get to see it is no obstacle for her. That wheelchair ain't stopping shit. It's not stopping anything. And that Ivy will overcome any obstacle put in her way, right?
Yeah.
And
she comes in like a wrecking ball.
I came in like a wrecking ball. I need an edit of just her driving through like things in that wheelchair and in that car. She came in like a wrecking ball. She did.
Yeah, she did.
Eric, make that for us. Wrecking ball with Ivy driving through into the church, or Ivy driving her wheelchair into anywhere fast. Thank you, Eric.
Anywhere fast, or even knocking herself over.
Yeah,
to get her way.
Yeah. So yes, Ivy and David are having this conversation. Kay, meanwhile, so everybody's like out looking for Kay, right? Meanwhile, Kay is literally next door. Like I've said week after week since she left, Kay did not make it 13 steps from her home. Like she did not make it far at all. So she's literally.
Is Tabitha's house right next to the Bennetts, or is
right
the B&B in between them?
Tabitha's house is right next to the Bennetts.
Right.
Because she could see Grace from her window when Grace was levitating.
Levitating, yeah, that's right.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah. She could see everything from her window, and she's all for the first 150 episodes, she was just like constantly hiding in the shrubs between their two houses and just kind of like spying on them. So yeah, their houses, as far as I know, their houses are exactly next door to each other. So like I said, Kate is right next door, which I just thought was so funny. And she sees Tabitha, who is having her weird witch pregnancy symptoms, and so Tabitha's levitating and she's like spinning around and she can't control it. And at first she sees it and she thinks she's hallucinating. She's like, oh my gosh, I hit my head harder than I thought. Like I think I'm hallucinating. And then she's like, no, I'm not hallucinating. Tabitha's definitely a witch. And so Kay just lets herself. This is the thing. If you think that lady is a witch, why would you go in her house? Like, why would you go in her house? Kay goes into the lady's house and says, so Reese was right, you are a witch. And then she goes on to say, I'm going to tell everybody you're a witch. Why the fuck would you do that? Why would you go in her house to tell people?
She just hit her head.
You're right.
And she's pregnant.
She got pregnancy brain on top of
Also, she's not afraid of magic. She literally was casting spells from a book she found in Tabitha's house. Why she hasn't pieced it together, I don't know.
Even if you're not necessarily afraid of magic, I would think you would have a healthy respect, knowing what it's capable of, right? Like, she turned into a cat. She thought she was going to be a panther forever. Remember that?
Yes. Yes.
It's dangerous stuff. And she
found that book. Kay's not afraid of it.
I'll go one step further. Why doesn't Tabitha have like blinds or curtains? Why is that window just completely naked and people can just
if I'm a
right
witch,
in?
I'm closing the curtains at least. Yeah, for sure. Like if you don't want to get caught, the first line of defense, cover up the glass, the transparent glass that people can see right through into your house. Right. So Kay just like walks right in, lets herself in, and just very calmly says to Tabitha, it's true, you are a witch. Tabitha tries to like explain it away. She's like, "Oh no, dear, you're just tired. What you saw was some exercises that I was doing that my chiropractor gave me. And Kay's like, no, you were like spinning around in the air. I do have this clip. So Tabitha is a witch. I thought this was fun.
Mm-hmm. It was definitely fun. I will say Tabitha's screaming for help was not convincing.
No.
She's like, help, somebody, help. It was like, I don't know who you're screaming to.
Help, anybody. Yeah.
Anybody.
Stop! Oh, I'll get me sick!
So it's true. You are a witch.
Oh, what the dickens? What are you doing here, Kay?
Catching you in the act.
What are you talking about? You look as if you fell and hit your head. It's obviously affected your mind. Oh, you're seeing things that aren't here.
No. I know what I saw. I saw butterflies coming out of your ears, and you're doing spinny things in the air.
Ridiculous. What you saw was me practicing some exercises that my chiropractor has given me.
Oh! Tabitha, I know what I saw, and it can only mean one thing about you. Reese was right all along. You're a bona fide broom-flying, spell-casting, potion-brewing black magic witch.
No. Nonsense. I never go anywhere near a broom if I can help it.
I love that.
Okay, so maybe you're not like the ones that I read about in the fairy tales, but it's for darn sure that you're not like the rest of us.
And that tags me a witch? I thought that the Salem witch hunt days were over.
Oh, don't try to squirm your way out of this. You are not a normal human being.
And the members of your family are, I suppose. I've witnessed plenty of unnatural goings-on at your house.
And I bet you had something to do with them.
I'm talking about your mother's cooking, for instance. Who never heard of making cakes with canned tomato soup?
Preach.
And you don't hear me going about accusing her of witchcraft, do you?
You know what? Don't try to turn this around, Tabitha. I am not Reese Durkee. People are going to listen to me when I start telling them that you're a witch. And when I say it, they're going to know it's the truth.
So, Kay comes in and starts threatening a witch. But yeah, she clearly is not well. Like, she can barely stand.
Yeah.
I love how calm Kay is.
Mm-hmm.
Witch, I know what you are. I mean, she's like slurring her words. Just like a mess. But Reese was right. Tabitha, you're a witch. I love that this is the beginning of like their kind of friendship, you know. Tabitha's always been there for Kay. She has.
Well, because it serves her purpose.
Yeah, it does serve her purpose, but you know what? Tabitha
Kay's
serves a
motives
purpose to
helps
Kay.
her.
Right. They have been mutually beneficial to each other. So
both
without
hate
even
charity.
knowing it. Yeah, exactly. So I
they
like
care for one another. They do. Ultimately, they do.
Especially going forward, right? Like as we go deeper into this storyline, like they definitely grow a more
and they're gonna
loving
bond
relationship.
over being pregnant together.
Yeah, which is wild. We should think about
That
it.
is wild. That is wild. So so Kay threatens to tell everyone that Tabitha's a witch, and she keeps saying it. She keeps saying like, I'm gonna tell everybody you're a witch so they can put you away where you belong. And Tabitha's like, oh, I'm sure you're just tired. It looks like you bumped your head. Like you'll feel differently after you get some rest. Like go home. And Kay then explains to her that she ran away. And I'm not going home. I'm never going home ever again. And she then tells Tabitha that Tabitha's the only person who knows where she is. She's like, I've been gone for hours. My family has no clue where I am. So ding, ding, ding. Tabitha gets an idea. She says, oh, so nobody knows where you are, little girl? Nobody knows where you are? This delights Tabitha, of course, because she's like, great, nobody knows where you are. They can't connect me to you. I'm going to kill you, bitch. She's just like, you're dead meat. Poor Kay. She wasn't thinking clearly because, again, the pregnancy plus the concussion, she wasn't thinking clearly. So Kay is about to leave, and Tabitha's like, well, do you want a sleeping bag since you're going to be sleeping out in the cold? Do you want a sleeping bag? And Kay, I will say for a moment I was kind of confused because it seemed so sincere coming from Tabitha. Like, oh, well, if you're not gonna, go home, at least take a sleeping bag. And it did seem very sincere, but of course it was a ploy. It was a plot. It was a scheme. Kay says, oh yeah, actually a sleeping bag would be great. And Tabitha tells her, well, they're in the basement. So, but I can't go down there and get it for you. My old bones, she's old, whatever. She's like, but you can go down and grab one and take it with you. So, of course, now she's going to feed Kay to the boys in the basement. And so she leads her to the basement. Kay is scared. She's like, I don't like your basement, Tabitha. Like, you got those weird red lights that are glowing from under the door. It's always making some kind of crazy sound. Like, I'm scared to go down in there. And Tabitha says, there's nothing to be afraid of down there, dear. Nothing to be afraid of at all, right? And then she to herself, she's like, except for the dark forces. And she's like to herself, she's like, you'll never be able to tell anyone anything again, my chickadee. Like, she's like beaming. So they're standing outside the basement door for a while, going back and forth. So I have a clip for this. Kay goes to the basement. Cause Kay is stalling going down into the basement, but this was fun. The stuff with Kay and Tabitha was fun to me. So I have one more short clip with this.
There it is again. That red glow.
Oh, that's just the special light for my plants. Nothing to worry about, dear.
So where's this sleeping bag again?
Well, I think it's in the far right corner on a big shelf, but you'll see it when you get down there.
Okay. What was that? Because it sounded like it came from the bowels of hell.
It was an idea. Okay, you should write one of those scary novels. That was just my creaky old water heater rumbling. Now, do you want the sleeping bag or not?
Yeah.
Sorry, kid. I can't risk you telling everyone I'm a witch.
All right. So
what's interesting is we jumped down Ivy for wanting this child to be found dead, but we're okay with Tabitha trying to kill her.
Listen, you know what? You know what it is. It's not that I'm necessarily okay with Tabitha trying to kill her. I know that Tabitha's not going to be I know that Tabitha's not going to be able to kill her. Also, Tabitha is comic relief, right? Like the way Tabitha is written, the way they've written this, it's been written. The tone is a lot less sinister. It's more campy than what's going on with Ivy. The tone is different, but you're right. They are the same thing. So I do in fact have a double standard, but I refuse. I refuse to investigate further. I refuse to change on that in any way. But yes, I do have a double standard for for Tabitha versus Ivy. Because
I do agree with you on that, but I will also say the theme of this week should be lock your doors, because why is everyone walking into Tabitha's house? She should be sending all of them to the basement.
Yeah. Oh, so. And there was a funny line too that Kay's like, I always wondered about you and this creepy house, and Tabitha's like, well, there's no need to insult, even if my house isn't furnished by Crockery Barn.
Crockery Barn.
Oh God.
Yeah, there's some good little lines between the two of them, really, in these scenes. At one point,
Pottery Barn was really big back then.
Yeah, I remember Pottery Barn, but she said Crockery Barn.
Crockery Barn,
hilarious.
I guess they couldn't use the name; they didn't have rights.
Maybe they. It's funnier to say crockery, like because she's an old witch who. Yeah, thinks of crockery instead of pottery.
Right.
So Kay is stalling going down the stairs. She tells Tabitha, she's like, Tabitha, I know you're a witch. Why don't you just use your magic to zap it up here? Like just zap a sleeping bag up.
See what I mean? She's not afraid. She wants to use magic for her advantage.
Listen, Kay is done for the night. Like she's done. She's just like, yeah, sure. Tabitha's a witch. I'm pregnant with Miguel's baby. I've been out in the snow all night. I've hit my head. My mom hates me. Like she's done. She's just like, whatever. Just give me the sleeping bag and let me go out into the storm. So they go back and forth for a while with Kay calling her a witch and Tabitha saying she's not a witch. And when Kay is finally about to go down the stairs, Charity shows up, and she's still in her trance, right? Mm-hmm. She shows up and she's like, Kay. And so they see her, and then Charity snaps out of it, and she's like, oh my gosh, how did I get here? Of course, she doesn't remember how she got there. And everybody else, all of the citizens of Harmony follow behind. Like truly, everybody who was like involved in this storyline show up at that point, except for David and Ivy, who are still at the Bennett home talking about their nefarious plans. So everybody enters Tabitha's house. They're all very relieved to see Kay. They offer to take her to the hospital, saying like, you need to go get checked out. Grace says you need to get checked out. She refuses, of course, of course. Why would she need to go to the hospital? She only hit her head and was lying in the snow, freezing, and you can barely walk, Kay. She can barely walk. But she refuses to go to the hospital.
Even for just the baby, like even if you're pregnant, you should check on the baby to make sure it's still okay.
Yeah. And and she's 18, so maybe she doesn't necessarily understand how
her frontal lobe hasn't finished developing yet.
Yeah, maybe she doesn't quite understand just how like precarious that situation could be for her and her baby, but whatever. She refuses to go. They then try to take her home, and she refuses. She's like, no, mother, I'm never going back home again. Sam tries to convince her to leave, but in his very Sam fatherly kind of way, like, look, honey, I know it's been a rough night. Like, let's just go home. She refuses. She's like, no, I'm not going back. She says everything around us is a pack of lies. And then Sam's like, what do you mean? What do you mean about that? What's a lie? And then she drops the bomb, baby. She drops the bomb. She says, David and Ivy are working together to try to tear apart your marriage. It's all a lie, Dad. David isn't Mom's husband. John isn't her son. It's all just one big fat lie.
Oh, that was so good. It was good because they detoured. They sort of pulled the red herring because we're all thinking she's going to tell them about Tabitha. But instead, she pulls this out.
You know what? It's interesting because it never even crossed my mind that she was going to say anything about Tabitha. I don't know why.
Really?
No, it never even crossed my mind.
Tabitha's literally like, oh my gosh, she's going to say it. She's going to say it. And she's all worried. And like, that's where the show was trying to go.
I know that's where the show was trying to go, but it just...
Probably because Ivy and David were talking about it, so it was
I think
clues.
That's why. I think it was because Ivy and David were talking so much about it, and they weren't in the room. And everything was leading me to Because Kay's fed up. Like I said, Kay's fucking had it, right? She's had a rough night. She's had it, and they're trying to take her back to this house, and she doesn't want to go there. She knows all of this information about what's been going on in her home and why everything's so fucked up in her home. And so to me, it was just like logical. Yeah, she's just gonna, because she's ready to let it go. She's ready to let it blow.
Yeah.
And she just learned about the stuff with Tabitha, and she doesn't seem like when she was talking about the stuff with Tabitha, it never even seemed like she cared that much. She was just like, "You're a witch, Tabitha, and I'm gonna tell everybody you're a witch. You're a witch. That's crazy. Yeah, I'll take a sleeping bag. Thanks, witch." You know, it never felt. It didn't feel serious.
No.
But I know that this is something that Kay has had and known about for months, right? And she has such a big problem with her mom specifically. I had a feeling that this is where this was headed. So, but I was honestly, I was surprised that they didn't drag it out more. I was like, I thought it was going to be a lot of long shots of like, "Kay, what do you mean? What's a lie?" And then she was just him and haw like, "Well, you know, there's a lot of things. People lie." You know, I thought they were just going to drag it out. I was shocked that she just said it all, like flat out dropped the bomb and said, "David's not mom's husband. John's not her son. This is all a lie. Ivy and David have been working together." What were you going to say, Andrew?
So I just want to say, because Passions doesn't do this to us. You know, they normally build. So when they drop a huge bomb like this, it is wild. It's crazy. And I will say, we need to bookmark this episode and revisit this in the future, a couple of years, because this is so important, because like Kay is letting it all out, and she's really like laying into, this is all a lie. This is wrong. Like, don't you see what the problem is? And like everything that has been going on. And it's like, oh my God, it's wild.
She flat out told the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. I also, and we'll get there a little bit, but Grace says multiple times throughout these episodes, she says like, "Well, you've been known to lie. You've been lying a lot lately." What did she lie about to Grace? Grace kept saying like, "You've been lying. You keep lying to me." But what has she lied to her about? If anything, Kay has been like brutally honest with Grace about her feelings for months.
I think she is talking about how Miguel and her slept together, because Grace doesn't.
But Grace
she is kind of lying about it. She is kind of lying about it, saying, you know, no, he knew it was me and he wanted to sleep with me, and we know that was.
But that's really the thing, Grace. The thing is, it's not that Grace doesn't know that that's some sort of lie, right? If you tell somebody like, "You've been lying to me for months," to me that means like, I found out the truth. I know what happened. Grace doesn't fucking know what happened between Miguel and Kay.
But she suspects there's a lie, so that makes it worse, because she thinks that there's a lie there.
Okay, yeah, I guess she thinks there's a lie there. But yeah, she kept saying like, you've been telling a lot of lies. She kept saying, and all I could think was like, I'm trying to think, what lies has Kay been telling? Kay's been telling the truth. And then there was one point where she said something to the effect of like, "You've told us so many things that turned out not to be true. I can't go back through my like files and remember anything. The only thing I can remember was when Kay had thought she had taken a video of, I think, Charity like levitating or whatever, so she thought she was an alien. She kept, do y'all remember when she thought Charity was an alien? And she had that videotape and there was nothing on it. That's the only thing I can think of where she like tried to expose something and it turned out not to be true. But that also turned out to just be like, you know, that was kind of silly and campy. It wasn't like a big horrible lie. So I don't know. It's just something that kind of stuck with me in these episodes. They're painting Kay as this like habitual liar who's just told all of these lies to them over and over for months and months and months. But I don't have any evidence to support that unless it's stuff that happened off screen.
Yeah.
But I don't know what, but every conversation we pick up in the same place. It's not like there's space, right? There's no space where like time has changed, time has moved forward and there's conversations we weren't privy to. No, we pick up in the same place every week. So I know it's like maybe a little thing. It's just not a little thing to me.
It's not. And maybe what it is that she's attributing her behavior to wanting to call everything lies, when it's more that she's just disapproving of the things she's saying and the things she's doing, because she's caught her in the shower with Miguel. She didn't lie about what she was doing. She just doesn't approve it. She doesn't like it. She found her in the confessional. Oh my God, what a horrible thing you can possibly do. Again, no lies. It's just things you don't like and things that you disapprove of. So you're just going to label everything their lies because you're doing things that aren't good. So they're not truth.
You know, I think
a great point.
Another way of looking at it as well is that Kay is telling her truth, and the way that she expresses her truth is also extremely vicious, especially towards the people who treat her so poorly. And no one treats her more poorly than her mother. And who she perceives to be the person who upended her life with Charity. So it's like those are the two people that she is the most vicious towards.
Yeah.
And like you see how she talks to her father. She's very soft. She's very, you believe me, Daddy. You know, and it's like you see this in her because ultimately, yes, she does a lot of bad things, but you can kind of see where she's coming from. And whether you agree with her or not, you can see that hurt and you can see how she just lashes out.
Yeah.
Because she's not emotionally mature enough to kind of deal with it in a more adult way.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And also the things that she goes at Grace about, to Kay, it's her truth. And that's why, to Kay, it's her truth, but Grace sees them as like lies. She'll say, oh, you have feelings for David, or, you know, all these things that we're all seeing Kay is saying, but Grace is in denial. So for her, it's like, no, you're lying. You're making things up.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? I love this. This is what I like about the podcast. You know, I say a thing and then you're like, yeah, no, I feel you. And then you help me understand. Y'all help me understand, make sense of this stupid show. Because I was just like, what has she lied about? Nothing.
I mean, but you're not wrong. There hasn't really been a lie.
Yeah. Not to the extent, I mean, of course there are some lies, but nothing that Grace actually knows.
Exactly.
Right? So,
or anything that Grace isn't willing to face.
Right.
Kay's telling her the truth. She just doesn't want to believe it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So anyway, speaking of lies, I have 2 clips. It's all a lie. So we got part 1 and part 2. We'll do part 1, talk, and then do part 2. So let me tell y'all, y'all are basically gonna watch these episodes with Kay. There was so much, and I had a hard time figuring out what to cut and what to keep in. So there's a lot of Kay, Grace, Sam, Ivy, all of that this week. A lot.
This week, that was the MVP of this week. Was the storyline. Yeah.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that David and Ivy are working together to tear apart your marriage.
How do you know this, Kay?
Oh, she doesn't know anything. It can't be true.
It is true. She hired David to come to town and pretend like he was your long-lost husband so that she could break up your marriage. He's not your husband. John's not your son. It is all a lie.
You're the liar. My father is a totally honest man. He would never be a part of something so evil. Never.
I'm sorry.
You're the liar.
No. You're wrong. You're wrong.
I love Tabitha just loving it all.
Oh.
John, hey, try to calm down.
I won't calm down. You're a horrible, evil person to say such things
Did she
about
call
my
him
father.
Johnny?
Your father is a con artist of the highest degree, John.
No.
Ivy hired him for the sole purpose of breaking up my parents' marriage.
No, I don't believe it.
Well, I don't really care if you believe it. The only people that need to believe it are my parents, and I'm sure that they do.
Look, Kay, I know you don't like David or John, but to invent this ridiculous story...
I did not invent it, and it's not ridiculous. I overheard them with my own ears.
Wait, what do you mean you overheard them?
Shut up, Jessica.
Daddy, you believe me, don't you?
Sweetheart, I want to believe you. I really do.
He has to. She solves everything.
Dad, you're the one who was so suspicious of David when he first came to town, claiming to be Mom's husband.
Yes, but then he showed me proof that they were married.
That's
They had a
right.
marriage certificate.
Even though I couldn't remember that I was married to him because of the amnesia, David proved that we were husband and wife.
I don't believe this. All right, go ahead and stick your heads in the sand. That's fine. But I know the truth. Now, I don't know how he did it, but David fixed that. It was a bogus certificate.
This is incredible. Why? Why would my father lie like that?
Ivy has something on him. She's blackmailing him to make him do what she wants him to.
Blackmail.
Well, that does sound like something Ivy would do.
Grace gets on my nerves. I'm going to pause here.
No.
Grace irritates me because she acts like she knows David so fucking much. That man is a fucking stranger. That
Who
man,
kidnapped you?
You don't know who kidnapped you. You do not know that man. And the fact that she's like, oh, well, that does sound like something Ivy would do. Bitch, it also sounds like something David would do. The reason you don't know that is because you don't fucking know him. He's a con artist. This is what con artists do, you gullible fucking bitch. Well, that does sound like something Ivy would do. And so at this point for me, if I'm Kay, I'm sticking with the Ivy line, you know what I mean, to keep Grace on the train, because Grace is like too blinded by her love, frankly, her love of David and John, but it's more her love of David, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
She'll pretend and act like it's, oh, well, John has to be my son, but girl, you just want to fuck David, and that's what it is.
Right. But Grace's problem is she is not willing to give her daughter the benefit of the doubt, but she's always willing to give David the benefit of the doubt. And you're like, come on.
A stranger.
Yeah.
You don't know that man. You do not know that man. And he did really just drop into your life out of the fucking blue. And if you think about it, if you think a little bit harder about it, what Kay is saying makes complete sense. Ivy is always right there with David, talking to David. Ivy is always like somehow, and even Sam and Grace have both mentioned like, it's weird that Ivy always just kind of pops up right at the exact perfect time, right? Like she has such weird timing, and somehow she's just always around. It's like maybe there's a mole amongst right? Maybe you've got a spy in your house, right?
I mean, where is David right now?
Right now. Why
where is Ivy and David, like, they supposedly don't even know each other, so why did David stay behind?
To talk to Ivy.
Your son went next door.
Yep.
Right.
Why are you still at the Bennett house?
Right. Yep. So, continuing. Grace.
My father wouldn't do that to anyone. Certainly not to my mother or to me.
It's not your mama.
He couldn't.
I'm sorry, Johnny boy, but your pop is as phony as they come.
No. You know what? I'll prove it to you. I'll go get him.
Because he can't just lie?
Right.
Right.
This is working out even better than I planned. I haven't had to lift a finger to create all this mayhem and heartache. He's doing it all for me.
I love how much Tabitha loves this.
Oh.
I should have run from you as far as I could. I should have told John and Grace when I still had a chance. I let it go on this long.
Well, it's a little late for regrets now, isn't it? Just think of the fallout if Grace and John find out the truth. Now, if they find out you've been lying through your teeth this whole time, and Sam? Sam will either arrest you and throw you in jail, or he's just going to rip you apart with his bare hands.
You don't get it, do you, Ivy? I don't care what happens to me, but I will not have my son destroyed.
Well, he will be. And how are you going to live with yourself then?
I don't know. I'm not like you.
No, you're not. I'm a hell of a lot stronger than you are.
I know that's right, Ivy. I know that's right, Ivy. Listen, that's the thing. Ivy's a monster. Ivy is awful. I fucking love her though. Like I really do. There's something about her. And maybe I need to interrogate that. Right? But there's just something like, and she's absolutely right. She's like, no, you're not. I'm a hell of a lot stronger than you. Like, yeah, smarter and stronger than you could ever be.
Sitting in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Telling him she's stronger. And do you love how she's like dressed in like a ninja outfit?
I didn't even notice.
She looks a little like Bruce Lee and stuff. Look at the sleeves, the white and stuff. It looks like a ninja outfit.
I have to look back to it, but yeah, David irritates me, and I've said this probably more than 10 times on the podcast. But David irritates me because he does act like he has like this moral superiority over Ivy, and it's like you're doing the exact same thing that you are Ivy's instrument of terror.
Mm-hmm.
Look,
you are her weapon of mass destruction.
Yeah, people love a good villain, and Ivy is an amazing villain. Yeah. David is not. He's wimpy and weak, and he doesn't stand true. If you're already in this lie, like...
Right, like either blow it up or get with the program.
Yeah. Stop regretting your decision. You've already ruined your son's life.
Yeah, like, him trying to take the moral high ground with Ivy after all this is lame.
Yeah. So, all right, let's get back to it. David's like, no, Ivy, shut up.
Hopefully, the truth will never come out.
Dad, you've got to come with me now.
Why? What's going on? Come where?
To Tabitha's. Kay is telling the most outrageous lies.
She's alive?
Yes, we found her.
What lies?
Kay is saying that Grace isn't really my mother. Kay said that you and Ivy are in cahoots to try to break up Sam and Mom's marriage. She said none of it's true, that you were never married to Grace and that Grace isn't my mother.
John,
come with me and tell Kay she's a liar. She's just lashing out, trying to hurt Mom. You've got to come and set the record straight. For Mom's sake. Come on.
Sam and Ethan. If Sam finds out the truth, he's gonna hate me forever. And Ethan, oh God, I can't let this happen. I can't.
Yeah, she isn't like one of those, like, it's not ninja, but it's like a Chinese, like, inspired outfit. Yeah. But it's cute.
It is.
Okay, so that's part one. We're gonna get into part two, but let's discuss. Y'all have anything to add before we get into part two?
Just
part
the background acting of Tabitha.
Sorry, go ahead, Andrew.
Just the background acting of Tabitha is on point. Like, you can't help but just love how she's soaking in all of this chaos and loving it. So
I find it interesting that when John comes storming into the house and tells David exactly what is going on next door, that John doesn't pick up on David's non-reaction, right? David's like, John, right? Like, I think if I was John, I would pick up on that and be like, wait a minute.
Right.
Why aren't you as mad as I am? Why aren't you as upset as I am? Like, doesn't this upset you?
Because John is dumb.
Yeah, John is dumb. John is so dumb.
How old is he supposed to be?
I think he's got to be older than Noah.
Because he acts like he's 12.
Yeah, he's got to be older than Noah. So I want to say he's like 21, 22 maybe.
Yeah, probably.
I think at this point, Kay's 18. If Noah's older than Kay, he's probably at tops 19 or 20. I mean at the lowest end, he's 19 or 20. So, so if John's older than Noah, then he would have to be like 21, 22. I don't know.
Yeah. He acts so juvenile.
He really does.
So juvenile.
I guess because they chalk it up to the fact that he didn't have a mother to raise him, and I don't know. Because he acts like such a baby.
Yeah.
He does.
He really does.
Like, his world is going to crumble if Grace is not his mother.
Listen, I'm not going to sit here and act like that wouldn't be like a hard thing for somebody to take. They thought somebody was their mother, but they turned out they weren't. However, it hasn't been that long. Like, you went your whole life without a mother, unfortunately, and that's awful. However, if Grace turns out not to actually be your mother, this is mean, but like, don't you know what it's like to not have a mother? You'll just go back to not having a mother again, right? Like, that's what you know.
And it doesn't mean you can't still even stay in her life and have her as a mother figure, just that she's not your actual mother.
Particularly since John did nothing wrong. John has done nothing wrong. He genuinely believes that Grace is his mother. He believes his father. He is a victim in this situation. So, yeah, they could work out a thing where he still sees Grace as his mother figure. And if she feels such a connection to him, you know, they could it might be weird, but I think over time they could build a relationship and she could take him on as like an adoptive son, basically.
Yes.
So I don't know.
Which is important, and we should hold on to that thought, because later it just gets crazy and ridiculous with Grace and everything and her feeling, because like you said, doesn't mean he has to disappear out of your life if he isn't your child.
Yeah.
So, but before we continue, though, there was one line that I did take down because it was just so funny, and I love Tabitha. But when Charity first walked in, she was like, "Oh no, it was just God answered my prayers," and Tabitha's like, "Name dropper,
name dropper, name dropper." Yeah, that was so funny.
I just loved all her little quips.
Yeah, she's great. Tabitha's great.
I told you.
So let's get into the second part of this clip. So at this point, John brings his dad, David, back over to Tabitha's house, which, you know what? Again, I will say, these people have just taken over Tabitha's house. Right? Like, they're just having this whole thing out in the middle of her living room. And now they're just bringing more people into it. So, yeah, David shows up to answer for what Kay is saying. So here we go.
I told you Kay was lying.
That is weird.
I am not lying. Ivy is.
I most certainly am not. I never met David until he came to Harmony to find his wife, John's mother.
Oh, what a crock! What were you guys discussing in the park that day, then?
The park? We've never had a conversation in a park.
That is not true. I was there. I know what I heard.
Kay, dear, you're distraught, and a girl in your condition probably shouldn't be running around.
Don't change the subject, Mrs. Crane. I know what I heard.
Okay. When did this alleged conversation take place, Kay?
A few months ago.
Excuse me, a few months ago? If you thought David and I were conspiring against your parents, why didn't you speak up sooner?
What?
Why didn't you speak up sooner?
It's a good point.
That was good. That was a good point, I have to say. I was like, she got her.
Listen,
it's true.
Ivy, the only reason that Kay in this moment has like the upper hand on Ivy is because Kay does in fact have the truth on her side, right?
Yeah.
She really is actually telling the truth. Ivy knows how to exploit any kind of weakness. She knows how to exploit, she works those little things out in real time, right? Like she's quick, for lack of a better phrase, she's quick on her feet. And so, no, but she's quick, right? She's quick with it.
Yes.
And yeah, that is a good point. Why didn't you? But you know what? What I love is that, like I said, Kay is done, y'all. She's telling the truth. And so what does Kay use? The correct power, which is the truth. Here we go.
If what you say is true as you claim, and you thought your parents' marriage was in jeopardy, why did you let it go for so long?
Because I was mad at them, and I wanted to see them hurt. But I know what I heard. I heard you and David in the park, and you were discussing the fact that he isn't my mom's husband and that he isn't her son.
Okay, enough. No, Ivy, I want the truth. And I want it now.
I just told you.
Look, David, you know, I want to believe you. But you have to tell me the truth. Now.
Dad, it can't be true. Please tell them.
I'm gonna pause for a second. When Kay says, or when Kay comes clean and says, "Well, I was mad at them," and she used that, and she's coming clean, and she is telling. It's obviously she's to me. It's pretty obvious she's telling the truth, right?
Yeah.
She has no reason to make this up. What does she have to gain?
What does she have to gain? The only thing is Grace thinks that she's just doing this to like hurt Grace. So from Grace's perspective, I think that does make sense. She thinks she's just doing this to hurt Grace. And then also the perspective of like, she wants her parents back together. And so she wants to just like put an end to this whole thing. I think I can understand that, like that could possibly be a motive. However, if that was the case, wouldn't she have done this a while back? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, to Ivy's point, why did you wait so long?
And so I think her explanation for why she waited so long works really well in her favor. She's like, I wanted them to hurt. I was mad at them. I wanted them to hurt. And like, it didn't make sense. Like, it was prudent to me to let them just keep going down this weird path because they're not focusing on me. Right? Like they're not taking any time to parent me. So sure, go off and ruin your lives, right? Yeah, I think it's I don't know. It's very clear to me that Kay is telling the truth. If I had a 18-year-old standing in front of me telling me this story and with such conviction, and Kay is not like, Ivy's very quick, right? She comes up with things very quickly. Kay, not so much in the moment, I feel like. And so, yeah, I would be compelled to dig deeper into it. I would be like, you know what? Yeah. There's a claim here. Let's see if we can substantiate it at the very least, right? Maybe you don't believe it outright, but if I'm Grace and I don't want to believe this, I still have to take that accusation seriously. Right?
Yes.
So,
especially that it's Sam. He should be believing everything his daughter says. She solves all of Harmony's.
She's his mystery. She's his mystery solver. Case closed,
exactly.
Sam. You've been trying to figure it out.
In all seriousness, though, when you take a look at the fights that Sam and Grace have had regarding her, one thing that Sam says is that he has failed his daughter. You know, he has not seen her hurt and why she's lashing out, and he wants to be a better father to her, a better parent to her. Grace is not seeing
Grace
it
thinks she's perfect. Way. No, Grace thinks she's a perfect mother.
Yeah, so I think when you take a look at this, of course she wanted her parents to hurt because she's been hurting this whole time. And that's kind of her way at getting back at him. So, yeah, she's telling the truth. And the truth kind of hurts because it's like, it doesn't paint her in a good light.
It doesn't. Exactly. It doesn't paint her in a good light.
Yeah.
Why would she? It doesn't paint her in a good light. If she was lying, I feel like she would have made up a lie that painted her in a better light. I'm just saying. So, yeah. So, back to the clip.
You're seriously asking them? You know you can't trust a word David or Ivy says. Dad, listen to me. You've got to believe me.
Hey, how can we believe you after everything that's happened?
Daddy, look into my eyes. Okay, you're the person that knows me the best. And you've always said you can tell if I'm lying or if I'm telling the truth, Dad. So look deeply into my eyes right now and you tell me what you see.
Sam, this is ridiculous. I mean, your daughter obviously has a lively imagination.
I'll handle my daughter, Ivy.
That's right.
Yes.
I know that's right.
Sweetheart, I want to believe you. But like I said, you've told us so many things that turned out not to be true.
I don't know what he's talking about.
I know, and I'm very sorry for that. But I am telling the truth right now. I swear it. I heard them in the park, and they said David wasn't Mom's husband and John wasn't her son. I know you can tell if I'm lying, Daddy, and I swear I'm telling the truth.
I believe you, Kay.
Oh.
I believe you're telling the truth.
I am.
I really appreciate Sam.
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciate Sam. Like,
yes,
because she was pleading with him, like, and so when he said you've told us so many things that turned out not to be true, maybe they're talking about pre-show, right? Like maybe they're talking about like Kay just in general as a kid, she's just would lie, and we just don't know. You know, we haven't seen those conversations.
Do they know any of the things that she did in the past with like losing her soul, the house getting sucked to hell, like her part in any of it? So they just think
any of that.
Evil just showed up out of nowhere for no reason.
Yeah, well, and honestly, if you follow Kay's logic, Evil showed up because of Charity. All that shit started happening because when Charity showed up. They had a perfectly normal life before Charity came into the picture, and yes, Kay did have something to do with that, but you know what? Actually, I will say, yes, Kay had something to do with it, but honestly, none of that would have ever happened if Charity didn't show up, right? Like, Kay wouldn't have been looking for anything to, like, keep Charity and Miguel apart. And specifically, Tabitha would not have inserted herself in, like, the Bennett home business, right? She only did that because Charity was there. If Charity had never showed up, so Kay is actually right about that. If Charity never showed up, everything would have been fine. Everything is actually kind of Charity's fault. Everything.
So Tabitha wasn't interfering in any kind of way, living right next door and keeping an eye on Grace?
There was nothing to interfere with. Grace didn't know anything about her powers, right? She had amnesia, so she didn't know anything about her powers. And I think maybe she was there, like, keeping an eye on Grace, making sure she didn't remember or didn't go into her, like, get into her goodness powers in any way. But, like, nobody in that household was, like, a magical person before Charity showed up. And when Charity showed up, it was like the alarm bell started going off at Tabitha's house, right? That, oh my God, there's like this creature of goodness living next door to you now. We have to make sure that she does not ever have sex, because if she does have sex, she will come into her full powers or whatever. It's love. If she has, I know it's make love, and if it's Miguel, whatever. I know it's not just sex, but still, they make a very big deal about her having sex and that it'll make her more powerful. And y'all know where I stand on that. I've been very clear.
A rough plot points.
I've been very clear about that.
But she also brought the angels too, which also kind of pissed off Tabitha, because they obviously weren't getting involved until they got Grace floating out of a window out of her bed. Because at first I thought that was Tabitha. No, that was actually an angel that did that to her. I don't know why. What would, like, that was the most creepiest thing for an angel to do. Like,
yeah, the angel girl.
Yeah, why are you making her act like the Exorcist and make her float out of bed and out of her window and shit? Like, that was...
You know what? I'm amending my earlier statement. All of this is the angel's fault. I'm amending my earlier statement, because you are absolutely right. Because that angel did that to Grace in the very first episode before we ever even met Charity. Yeah, and then it put Tabitha's kind of sights on the house more. Yeah. That fucking angel. That little angel bitch.
But she didn't, like, didn't she then appear, says, I did it to warn you? First of all, why are you making me float out of bed? How is this a warning?
Yeah, hands off.
Like, you could have just came to me in a dream.
Right, truly. So anyway, Sam believes his daughter, and I love this. I love that I love the speech that she gave him, saying like, "Look, I know you can tell when I lie. Look into my eyes." Like, I'm gonna tell you, kids do not do that. Kids do not say, "Look in my eyes," and you can see that I'm not lying. No, they don't want you looking in their eyes. In fact, whenever, I don't know about y'all, but like with like my nieces and nephews, or even with like kids when I was teaching, when I was trying to get to the bottom of something, I will say, "Look at me, look in my eyes and tell me what happened." Right? Look me directly in my eyes and tell me what happened. And because sometimes you can glean. You can see, especially with your own kids or kids you know really well, you can see like, I know when you're telling the truth and I know when you're lying. I can see, you have a tell, if you will. You know what I mean? Like, I can see that little twinkle in your eye thinking you're getting away with something. And so kids don't typically tell you, "Look me in my eye." If they do, sometimes that's like, might be them saying like, "I'm really being truly, genuinely honest with you right now. Like, I know, I don't know how to convince you other than telling you to look in my eyes and see into my soul and see my heart and see where I'm at on this." Because, yeah, I think that was such a good thing for Kay to do. It was good. Yeah.
Because she has no actual evidence. This is literally her word against Ivy.
It's hearsay. Yeah. It wouldn't hold up in court. So, yeah.
Well, Ivy has a fake birth certificate. Later on, the DNA, so there's things pointing to not the truth.
The marriage certificate. But there's a lot of things that point to that this is the truth too, right? There's
the motives. There's motive to be able to say this.
There's motive.
There's no proof.
There's motive. And then there's also the fact that David came saying that he knew about her past and he was going to tell her about her past. He hasn't told her anything about her past.
Nothing.
She likes honey in her tea.
She likes honey in her tea like the rest of us. She likes grapefruit juice. Ugh, God. She's the worst. Oh, she's just the worst. No offense to anybody who likes grapefruit juice. It's just it's an odd juice to be your favorite juice. So anyway, she there's things that point to that this is a lie as well. The fact that David has told her nothing about her past, the fact that he doesn't have any pictures, he doesn't have any proof that they were together beyond like that marriage certificate, which could be doctored and bogus. It could, like, Ivy was a crane. Ivy was a billionaire. And honestly, I don't know if y'all been looking into the things that's coming out of the Epstein files, but I am learning that I knew that rich people could get away with like so much shit, but there's so much more. Like, there's a whole level above that I didn't even consider they could be getting into, right? And so like she had so much money at her disposal. She could do anything. Don't they know about, I'm pretty sure like Sam knows about the imposter with the fake like the Luis imposter.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I feel like that's you can see like that's something that the Cranes are capable of doing, right? Like these elaborate schemes that look real, sound and seem real, but they have money and so they can get away with it doing that. So again,
but since Sam is bad at his job and he never actually solves cases, that's why he doesn't get to any of the conclusions. Because who shot at Julian? Who killed Crystal?
Who killed Crystal?
What happened to Orville?
Frankly, Julian also should be locked up for faking his own death. He should be. That's crime. It's crime.
Is it a crime?
Yes. Girl, yes, it's a crime. They devoted a lot of time and money to the search for him. It is a crime. And on top of that, he knew Teresa was about to die and was going to let her take the fall for a murder that she clearly didn't commit because he was alive. No, Julian should have been arrested. He should be in jail. He definitely committed more than one crime. So, Sam's horrible at his job. You're right. So,
he relies on his daughter to solve all the cases.
All the cases, and so now he's like, you know what? Kay's saying this is true, so it's true. Kay says it's true. It must. Case closed, baby. So Sam says he believes Kay. Ivy tries to spin the narrative. She clearly is not necessarily winning the your daughter's a liar war. She's not gonna win with that route So she kind of tries Kay must just be confused. She must have been confused. And she's bumped her head. She's probably just confused. And I don't know what she thought she heard, but Sam, that didn't happen. Right. Just sowing in some doubt for Sam. Then fucking Eve Russell walks in. And I'm going to tell you, I knew Eve had to come and be involved in this at some point, right? Because of the DNA test. But, girl, you just gave Antonio an experimental drug, right? Like, she was at the hospital administering an experimental drug. I think you should probably stay there and monitor your patient, right? Versus Jessica called you and she sounded upset, so you came. Like, you're a doctor, Eve. You are a doctor. And she was like, Eve says Jessica called her because she was worried about Kay, and she wanted her to come and examine Kay, give Kay an examination. But it's like, if I'm Eve, I would have been like, bring her to the hospital. I'm at the hospital. Bring her to the hospital. I'll examine her.
Bring
at the
her
hospital.
to me.
Yeah, I'm at the hospital administering an experimental drug. And honestly, if the shit works, I'm probably gonna win some kind of award. I think she might win a Nobel Prize or in medicine or something, right? For this amazing, incredible treatment that she has administered.
In Eve's defense, at least I can say he is in a hospital being monitored by other professionals as well. She does not need to be there 24 hours a day. Like, even when I was giving birth, my doctor was not in the room the whole time. There's staff of nurses.
His doctor. She is his doctor, and she has made such a big deal about and she's particularly made such a big deal about this experimental drug and how dangerous it is, and how, like, I would agree with you if he was having a baby, but he's not having a baby. He's in a coma.
That was an example. I'm saying anytime you're not. You're more seen by nurses and staff than the actual doctor.
What I'm saying is, if he was having any kind of normal, right, regular medical emergency or medical issue, fine. But he has some sort of rare disease, and she is administering some sort of insane cocktail of medicine to him. I imagine she needs to be there to make sure he's monitored. And she's made such a big deal about it. I'm only saying this because Eve has made such a big deal about Antonio's care and his health and everything. So if I'm Eve, it's like, yeah, bring her to the hospital. I'm kind of busy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but that would have been the smart thing to do, is like, could we have this conversation in the hospital? Because you need to get checked out.
People are dying, Kim. Like,
but in the world of passions, they can just call Eve if he starts to crash.
They can just
and she'll be there, because they all teleport to each other anyway. They get around so fast.
But I also want to say this, okay?
Yes.
And I'm glad that Jessica did something rational in trying to get a doctor to check out her sister.
Yeah.
But Jessica needs to mind her own damn business.
So many times. I have it written so many times. Oh, Jessica, stop meddling. Oh, Jessica, shut the fuck up. Oh, Jessica, go away.
And it's interesting because Jessica only had like 4 lines, right? But every time she opened her mouth, I was just like, shut up.
She was in everyone's business with those 4 lines.
Every time she opened her mouth, I was just like, shut up, Jessica. God, shut up. You just want to be involved so fucking bad. You're not part of this. You're not part of it.
Go be with your boyfriend that you took from your sister.
Mm-hmm. Right? Or go pick up a shift.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh,
who is minding the B&B?
Right, exactly. Those people need some warm tea, some coffee. It's a storm outside. Okay, they're snowed in. Okay, so anyway, Ivy spins the narrative. Eve shows up because Jessica has called her saying that her sister needs to be examined. And Grace is like, yeah, I think that's a great idea. Kay needs to be examined. But Grace, and maybe this is just me projecting, maybe I'm wrong about this, it seemed to me that Jessica was actually worried about her sister and really was thinking like, maybe my sister maybe she bumped her head and she just like she's not thinking rationally, and I'm worried something might be wrong with her. Grace didn't seem like she was worried something was wrong with Kay. She seemed like she just wanted Kay to shut up. Like she just wanted to silence Kay. And so the way she felt like she could do that is by saying, okay, Eve, come and examine Kay. But her motives didn't seem nearly as pure as Jessica's did. I will say that. Even though Jessica was annoying and getting on my nerves, it did seem genuine when she said she was worried about Kay.
But she does love her sister. She just finds her annoying.
Yeah.
And she loves Charity more, and Charity's not in danger right now, so she can put some energy into Kay.
Right. But I'll also go one further because Bennett, what the hell are you doing at the neighbor's house, airing out all your dirty laundry?
They used to live there for a little while. They feel at home. They're feeling at home. They were just there.
They give new meaning to make yourself at home. They really do. Right? Like because they really just came in and decided, oh yeah, this will be a great place to explode our family and just like create drama and Eve showing up. I was like, yeah, another person just walking right through the door. Just another person. Just walking right through the door. And so Grace is trying to silence Kay. Were you silent or were you silenced? Okay, she's trying to silence Kay, and Kay's not having it. She stands very firm, very strongly, and she says she doesn't need to be examined. And then she brings Eve up to speed and tells Eve about Ivy and David's plot. And of course, Eve isn't surprised because Eve knows all about this. Kay then says to Grace, because Grace is like, oh, why would they lie? Right? She's not necessarily believing it. And Kay says, Mother, everything I've told you is the gospel truth. That's the gospel truth. Hercules. And then Grace says, it is not. And you have to stop making these unsubstantiated accusations. And Kay says, I was there. I heard them, Mother. I'm an eyewitness. Grace says, then why didn't you tell us sooner? We already covered this, bitch. I already told you why I didn't tell you sooner. I already said that. She's like, why didn't you tell us sooner? You claimed that you heard this months ago. Well, like I said, I was mad at you, which you can corroborate. You know I was mad at you. I slapped you, bitch. Like, you know I was mad at you. You know we haven't been doing well. You know I wasn't trying to help you in any way because you weren't trying to help me in any way. She says, like I said, I was mad at you, but I'm trying to help you and Daddy now. Grace says, there has to be something more than that. I mean, why wouldn't you tell us for so long? Bitch, I just fucking told you. I just fucking told you. Grace is irritating. But Kay says, because I knew that you would treat me like this if I told you sooner. I knew you would question me even though I'm telling you the truth. Those two are trying to tear your marriage apart. And I thought you always said you loved Daddy and that marriage is sacred. And Grace is like, yes, it is, Kay. And then Kay says, well, then you'd better start believing me, Mom, because if you don't and you allow Ivy and David to carry out their sick plan, your marriage to my dad is toast. So Sam says to Grace, I believe Kay. And why can't you, Grace? I believe her. Why can't you? And then she says, I need to think about it. I need to think. And so she goes, makes herself at home in Tabitha's house, walks off and goes into the kitchen, and Eve follows behind her to talk to her. Okay, so Eve and Grace are having this conversation, and Grace asks Eve, like, what do you think? And Grace says, well, Eve recalls lying about the DNA test, right? She thinks back like, oh, well, what do I think? Well, what I think is all this is a bunch of pack of lies, right? Because I know the truth, but she can't tell Grace that. And so she just tells her, Grace, I'm here for you. Like, I'm here for you. Whatever happens, I'm here for you, basically. My next note is John and Charity have a boring people conversation. Do y'all know what that's about?
It's just more of the same bullshit about, who cares?
I didn't put notes to it, so I don't even remember that they had a conversation.
Yeah.
The following note is, at one point, Eve announces to the entire room that Antonio is a coma. She really shouldn't have her medical license. Because, girl, what do you do? Why are you telling them about all his medical stuff and what's going on with him? I don't think they...
Yeah, and nobody's related to them.
Yeah, like they just, know them, but even if they are related, she can't tell them that.
I think that was just the plot point to get Charity to call Miguel.
It was.
That's it.
It was. They
which was also a nothing burger.
Yeah, no, it was. I wrote, the only thing that I can say about that is Jessica. So Jessica prompts Charity to call and check on Miguel because she's like, oh, man, Miguel must be having a really rough time because his brother's in a coma. Maybe you should call Miguel and just check on him. And then Charity's like, yeah, you're right. I mean, I should at least check on him. And so Jessica then smirks and says to herself, you may be my sister, Kay, and I do care about you, but I'm not going to let you come between Charity and Miguel. They belong together. I wrote, girl, shut up.
Stay out of other people's business.
Stay out of other people's business. Shut up. They belong together. Like, your sister is pregnant with Miguel's baby.
Yes. Yes. They had sex.
Yeah.
They had sex.
Yeah.
Like, girl, this is, frankly, it's above your pay grade, right?
Yeah.
It's above your pay grade.
You took her boyfriend.
Right?
Shut the fuck up.
She probably is not getting paid because she's a candy striper at the hospital, which is a volunteer thing. And then I don't think Grace pays her a salary or it pays her minimum. I don't believe Grace pays her minimum wage to work at the B&B or at her little stupid gift shop or whatever.
And she hasn't been at either location for a while now.
Yeah, that's true. So even if she was getting paid, she wouldn't have a paycheck.
Right?
But yeah, that annoyed me so much. Like I said, Jessica had like 4 lines the whole week, and every time she opened her mouth, I was fucking annoyed. I was just like, ugh.
Yeah. And the overacting, like, yeah. And it's like, calm down.
It's like, Jessica, baby, get your own storyline. Get your own storyline. And then
where's your man?
And then come talk to us. Exactly. Then come back and talk to us. Until you have a storyline, please just shut up. Just shut up.
Yeah.
So then Charity and Miguel have a conversation where he begs her to get back together with him. That's the whole note. That's the whole conversation. She says, no, you're having a baby with Kay. And so, no.
Your brother's dying. Like, come on.
He don't know that man.
That's true, too.
I think more than anything, he feels bad for his mom, but he doesn't know that man. Miguel was a baby when he left.
Yeah.
So, Charity's more important.
Yeah.
Charity is a lot higher on the priorities list for him.
He would have been at Tabitha's house if it wasn't that Charity. Not even if it wasn't that Charity didn't want nothing to do with him, because he would have just been like, "Fuck Antonio, I don't give a shit. I'm gonna go hang out with Charity."
Right? Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. Yeah, if he and Charity weren't
no other place to be. He has no other place to be. That's why he's at the hospital.
That's so true. Because if Charity had like forgiven him by now, he absolutely would be right there up Charity's ass.
Yeah, 100%. Yes.
Yeah. So, meanwhile, Grace and Eve have their conversation, and then Grace comes back, and I have like clips of that, and we'll get there. But I want to talk about a conversation that Eve and David have while all the other stuff is kind of going on, because I got some of it in the clips, but not a lot of it. So I do want to talk about the fact that Eve is weirdly happy about Ivy getting her comeuppance, and she's like, yeah, Ivy's finally gonna get her comeuppance, and she's like sipping tea, she's smirking at Ivy, But David,
which she went to get without asking Tabitha. She was just helping herself to, I'm just going to go make myself some tea. How? Really? You didn't, at least the Bennetts lived there.
At some point. Yeah.
Right.
At some point. Like, I'm just going to go make myself some tea. Tabitha's tea. And you don't even know, Tabitha. For all you know, you're using some enchanted type of herb that's going to turn you into a toad or something.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing.
Not that Eve would know this, but still, that's dangerous.
Ain't no telling what Tabitha's got in her cabinets at all. You never know what you're going to find. So, yeah, Eye of Newt, whatever.
That would have been fun. They should have played that a little bit.
That would have been fun. That would have been fun if, like, Eve goes into the kitchen, opens the cabinet, and is like, Eye of Newt tea? I've never heard of this. Like, that's a funny name for a tea. Spooky, you know?
Yeah. And even taking it and started having hallucinations or something.
Yeah, she grows a tail or something. She's like, I thought this was a, Halloween themed tea or something.
Yeah. And have Tabitha be like, touch my shit again. See what happens.
See what happens.
Everyone coming up in my house.
Yeah.
I can't believe they just all came in and just made themselves at home. Actually, I can. These people are fucking rude. David has to give Eve a dose of reality. He has to give her a reality check, right?
Yes.
He says, listen, I'm on thin ice and Ivy's on thin ice, but you are standing right there with us. Or did you forget that you fixed the DNA results for Ivy? Eve at this point begins to worry, right? Because she hasn't been worried at all, which is weird to me. I was like, why wouldn't you be concerned, babe? Of course, the DNA is going to come up.
Yeah, but you know what? I think the difference is we know Ivy and David are villains. They are just villains. They are just different types of villains.
Yeah.
Eve, yes, she is a villain, but she doesn't see herself as one because all she's trying to do is protect her family and the life that she built. So I think for her, Ivy getting her comeuppance is a good thing because it's kind of like a sigh of relief, but she doesn't realize that she's part of it too. And I think like she gets that dose of reality.
Like she forgot for a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then he was like, did you forget that? And she's like, I could never forget that. Of course I remember that. But then of course she starts to worry at that point. And so she realized maybe David is right.
Yeah, maybe she was thinking it would come out without anyone mentioning the DNA.
Right.
You know, like hopefully no one questions that.
And hopefully that never comes up again. Honestly, if I was Eve, it would be a tough thing because Ivy, you always have to deal with Ivy, and Ivy's just gonna blow it all up. But if you wanted to come up with your own like lie, you could just say, oh no, tests can be, sometimes they can come out wrong. You get a false positive. These people don't fucking know anything. They don't know anything. She could just make up. She could really make up anything about DNA. They're not gonna question her about it, and she could be like, yeah, let's redo the DNA test, and see if we come up with any anomalies or what have you.
She could have also just lied and says, no, that is what the DNA test said. Like, she could have just said, like, someone must have given me the bad results.
True. That's true.
Results.
That's true.
I just read what was on the paper.
Yeah. And if Ivy tries to say, no, I blackmailed you into changing those results, right? Like that's a destruction of Ivy's whole life. Now, if everything crumbles for Ivy, then Ivy has nothing to cling to anymore. So yeah, she might let loose and tell all Eve's secrets. But as far as the fixing the DNA test result goes, I think Eve could find a way out of that. I think she could very easily place the blame squarely on Ivy and say, I don't know how it happened. I had nothing to do with it. And even if Ivy says, yes, you did, Ivy is a known liar. Ivy hired David. Ivy will say anything, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. But the Eve's bigger problem is that she doesn't want TC and the girls to find out about her past. That is what's actually keeping her from telling the truth. Right?
Especially with Liz sniffing.
Yeah. But she was also, I do want to point out, she was worried. She's worried about her license. She's worried about her career, that she won't be able to practice medicine anymore. And because, you will lose your license for fixing DNA test results. You will never be, you will, they will, whatever that board of, it's a medical board.
Oh, the medical board. I think it's called the medical board.
Whatever. They'll bring you in front of them and say, no, fuck you. You can't be a doctor anymore. You've violated 1 too many times, lady.
You're
too
old.
many times.
You're old. Or they'll just say, you can't do DNA, but you can deliver babies. You You can do open heart surgery. You can do brain transplants.
I think it's like I think they'll say, listen, we know you're every doctor, but it's gonna be a real loss to this town because they're losing every specialist at once. But girl, we can't have you in here anymore. You are a danger to society. So, but I do think she could have found a way out of that, because there's really no way for Eve to prove that she did anything to, because if you remember correctly, Eve looked at the DNA test results and saw that it wasn't that what's his name, John, was not Grace's son, because she was like, I have to interpret the results, right? And so she interpreted them to say that John was her son, but who's to say she can't find another piece of paper, do it again and say, oh, I'm interpreting this time as, oh, actually, y'all aren't related. Oh, we have to redo the test. The other one must have been a fault. It must have been faulty, whatever. So,
yeah, which is funny because I had recently was watching the Chad DNA results.
Oh,
and I remember TC said, because it was like a bunch of gibberish, and TC of all people was like, well, scroll to the bottom. They summarize it. Just read the summary. So it's funny here where there's no summary at the end that Eve has to interpret it.
Yeah.
You know what? You just made an excellent point that I can't believe I hadn't thought about.
Only because I happened to, this weekend run into that clip.
That's the thing. We've watched so much of Passions that some things they go away and you forget about them. But yes, when they did the Chad DNA bullshit, it was every Harmony citizen's DNA who's ever been in this hospital is in this computer. So if we just try to match his DNA against the database, we'll come up with a match. That is exactly what they should have done, right?
Yeah.
They can go to the hospital right now and do that again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And see, it came up no match because he's not related to Grace, who had her babies in Harmony.
Yeah.
Man, as long as Alistair doesn't tamper. Because remember, right before they read it, Alistair tampered,
had his little hacker in there hacking into the system. But I don't think Alistair gives a fuck about this right now. Yeah, I don't think he has
unless it keeps Ivy distracted and he wants to have Ivy distracted.
From what? Ivy has no power. Ivy's out.
Yeah.
I mean, Alistair's a lot like Tabitha. Like, as long as people are in pain or whatever. Yeah.
He's an agent of chaos for sure.
There you go.
For chaos.
Yeah.
So anyway, but thank you for bringing that up, because I forgot that's how they did that DNA. And in this time, with this one, it was like a paper test that was in an envelope, and she had to do the results and interpret them. Eve begins to panic in this conversation with David, and she throws one of Tabitha's glasses across the room, full of whatever she was drinking. She throws it across the room, makes a giant mess, shatters the glass, right? And she's just like, damn, Ivy Crane, control yourself.
That's why you don't invite everyone to your house.
Tabitha didn't invite these people in her house.
Right?
She didn't.
These are quite literally uninvited. They are the definition of uninvited.
Exactly. They eating her food,
helping themselves to
breaking her dishes.
She came in here just smashing shit.
Right?
Yeah. Not even saying sorry or like, oh my God, I have to like replace this for Tabitha. No. She'll clean it at least.
I was like, I can't believe she came here and smashed. It's just tearing up Tabitha's house. These people are just in Tabitha's house tearing shit up.
Yeah.
And let's not forget. Let's not forget, after throwing that glass, right? Who comes into the room to mind other people's business?
Jessica. She's like,
exactly.
What was that? She's so nosy.
Yeah.
She's so nosy.
And as you mentioned, the Bennetts are right next door. You want TV? Go to the Bennett house. Because Grace wouldn't care. Grace wouldn't care if you go through her shit. You don't know Tabitha.
Frankly, they obviously should have moved this whole thing over to the Bennett home. When John left to go get David, they all should have just gone over back to the Bennett home at that point. Right?
Yes.
That makes sense to me, instead of John going and bringing David back. And honestly, I was like, how did Ivy even get over to Tabitha's house? Because Sam had to carry her through the threshold. of the house. So I don't even know how she even got over
There's a step in the little front porch. There's like
not only is there a step, it's a blizzard outside. She can't navigate the snow. So,
we know that Kay is not going back to the house. So we kind of have to suspend disbelief to just know everyone needs to be here.
That's
she's
true.
not going back.
That's true. She's refused to go back to the house. Thank you. That's true. She has refused to go back.
Good point. Yeah.
Okay, so at this point, David and Eve just start to kind of like commiserate and kind of lean on each other as accomplices to Ivy's plot. And she even tells David about Liz and how Liz is her sister who's out for revenge and for their past and everything. So right here, let's just very quickly talk about what's going on with Liz. Liz is trying to seduce TC, who is asleep on the floor of his bedroom, because she was pretending to sleepwalk and she locked him in the room with her and tried to like have sex with him, but he was like doing not a great job of keeping her off of him because he was definitely kissing her back. But he eventually got her to like lay down, and he laid down. And so she then is in Eve's bed. This lady is weird. I'm sorry. I know
it's also creepy, like how he's on the floor and it's just creepy all around. She's weird.
She's a weird lady. I've decided to settle on she's weird because, and I was already kind of there with the sleepwalking thing, but I thought it was just kind of, okay, this is silly and ridiculous. But then she's in the bedroom in Eve's bed. And we've already talked about her last fantasy where she imagined she was basically wearing Eve's skin, which was weird enough, right? She's in Eve's bed, imagining making love to Eve's husband, and Eve walks in and catches them in bed together. And then, of course, TC calls her a whore. And it's like, you're the one cheating on me. But, of course, TC calls her a whore. And she's like fantasizing of like making love to TC in front of Eve. And she comes in and out of this fantasy, and she looks over at TC and she's like, I'm going to take my sister's husband from her and ruin her life. And then she gets like I guess it's like a perfume bottle, maybe some kind of oil that Eve uses. And she opens it and she puts it under TC's nose while he's sleeping, like it's like poppers. And he sniffs them. He kind of sniffs and he's like, Eve, right? Like, and he thinks it's supposed to, it almost mimics to me the essence of Charity.
Yes, I was gonna say.
So because it seems that her plan is to make him think that he's making love to Eve by putting on her perfume. I mean,
essence of Eve.
Right.
You know what though? That is a good perfume name.
That is. It really is. Look, I'm just going to say this. So I'm not going to yuck someone else's yum, but this is a little too far, because like, what is the fantasy that you get her man, or that she catches you? Like, what is the part that is like the most exciting?
Oh, the catching. Oh, of course.
Yes. Yeah.
No, she's getting off in Eve's bed on the idea of Eve coming in and finding her having sex with her husband. She's practically coming to that, right? Like, yeah. So,
and fantasizing him calling Eve the whore when you are literally sleeping with a married man.
Yeah, sleeping with her husband. Child.
The hypocrisy. Like, she's the whore? She's the whore.
And so...
who isn't sleeping with anyone but her husband right now.
And she's barely doing that.
Right?
And she's barely doing that.
She's busy. She is everyone's doctor.
Yeah. She's earning a living because his paycheck is not paid for that house.
It does not. She is not having sex with anybody. She's basically celibate. So I don't know where they get off calling her a whore. So that's not how that word is used at all. So, anyway, all of that happens with David and Eve, and they have that conversation, and then, we see throughout the week, well, not even throughout the week. It's like the very last episode of the week. Liz trying to seduce TC, but that's all we see of is her putting on the perfume. And
yeah, he doesn't even wake up, right?
No, he doesn't, because the whole idea is that basically, and I don't know why these women.
And he looks so pathetic on the floor. Like, that's the worst part about it. He looks so pathetic.
He is pathetic. That motherfucker said last night, I almost forgot I'm a happily married man while making out with this woman.
Mm-hmm.
How do you almost forget that you are a happily married man?
Mm-hmm. You say that. Say that.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
So let's move on to what's going on when Grace comes back from the kitchen, right? So while David and Eve are having that conversation, Grace goes back to the living room and she still does not believe Kay, but Sam believes Kay. So we have clips. Sam believes Kay. I have part 1 and part 2.
Now do you believe your daughter's telling the truth?
I'm sorry, Kay, but you don't have a history of telling the truth. And you certainly don't have a history of being nice to me.
What does that have to do with this?
Agreed.
Because Kay knows it would hurt me to find out that John's not my son.
Yeah, well, sometimes the truth does that, Mom. It hurts.
You see? Why I can't help but being suspicious of your motives, Kay? You always
Have
seem
to
to have
pause.
your own agenda.
You always seem to have your own agenda. You see why I can't help but be suspicious of your motives, Kay? You always seem to have your own agenda. All Kay said was, sometimes the truth hurts. Where's the agenda?
But Kay's point is constantly proven with her mom, and the fact that she picks everyone's side but her daughter's.
Every single time.
Is so upsetting.
Grace doesn't like her.
No.
Grace does not like her.
And when it comes to this motive, what does Kay have to gain by this?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
So what's her motive, Grace?
Yeah.
To continue to hurt her by telling you the truth? Like, she's trying to save you right now from continuing this lie.
And the thing, again, I will say is, all she said was, sometimes the truth hurts, which is basically what Grace has been telling her. Like, that the truth is that Miguel wants to be with Charity. And even though Grace has not been acknowledging Kay's hurt at all, you know what? Kay is actually so much more emotionally mature than Grace is, because in this moment she's like, yeah, sometimes the truth hurts, and Kay knows that, because she knows that Miguel loves Charity. She knows that, and it hurts. That hurts her, right? And so she's like, yeah, sometimes the truth fucking hurts, mama. And but the fact that Grace is like, you see, you always have your own agenda. What is my agenda, bitch? Like, what is the agenda? And it's just so, it's dripping with this, like, what's the right word? I don't know. It's not, hate isn't the right word, but it's like, it's condescension. It's derision. Like, she really just doesn't like Kay. She doesn't like her. All right, here we go.
Look, Mom, here's the bottom line. John is not, and I repeat, not your son. So deal with it, okay? Deal with losing someone you love the same way I had to deal with losing Miguel.
Exactly. And look at Grace's face, her little smug face. She's such a... Ugh.
Well, I think because at that point, Grace feels vindicated of saying that your agenda is to hurt me, because that's hurtful to her. Okay. So that's why.
Okay, sure.
It's like, see, you're just trying to hurt me. But she's telling you the truth, and the truth does hurt. That's not your kid.
Yeah. And John looks nothing like you. I'm not saying you have to look exactly like your kids, but, like, John doesn't look anything like her. Kay looks like she could be Grace's daughter. And I even feel like Jessica, to a lesser extent, but Jessica also I can see it. John doesn't look like her to me, but
even besides that, look at how David's acting. He's not sitting there defending the fact that that's
it at all.
Nothing. He's just sitting there looking guilty as fuck.
Because
he looked over at John like, fuck.
I was just going to say, just like the other aspect of that is she's telling you this and she's saying that she saw them speaking together. When should they ever be interacting at all? When, like, in your head, you would go, oh, you know what? I've seen them here, like away from the crowd talking. Like, oh, that kind of it's all making sense now. And why is he always here when we're in the middle of a fight? And like why like all of these puzzle pieces should start going into place.
Yeah, everything falls into place when should fall into place when Kay explains what has happened, right? Now, the other portion of this that I also find odd in David's behavior is there has not been one moment yet where he denies that this is the truth. Not one. Ivy's been denying it. Ivy's been saying it's a lie. David hasn't said a word. He hasn't said anything. If somebody told such a heinous lie about you, you would be jumping to correct them, and you would be very adamant and standing on, no, this is not true. That's not true. I was her husband. You don't know what you're talking about, right? He's really not doing anything to defend himself. It's all Ivy. And when I don't know if we saw the clip yet or if we're going to see it later, but at one point, I think it's Grace says to David, like, I need the truth from you. And Ivy speaks for him. That's enough for me. That's enough for me. Why is Ivy answering for you?
Yeah, you don't know this man.
I thought y'all didn't know each other. Exactly. Why is Ivy answering for you?
Yeah. It's almost as if David's willing to go down just so that Ivy can be exposed.
Okay. Like, here's the thing about David.
I think he's done with this whole thing.
The thing about David is he's been saying for a while, like, maybe I should just let this all happen, you know. The only reason he hasn't is because he like fell in love with Grace and he really does want to be with Grace, and his son will like disown him or whatever. But the thing about David, and I can't remember if somebody said it yet or if it happens later, David's a coward. I don't know if it's Ivy who said it. Somebody said that. David is a coward. He's not willing to be the person to tell the truth, to be honest about it. Like, it doesn't matter. He doesn't care if it comes out. It's not that he doesn't care, but he's okay with someone else doing the exposing, but he can't be courageous enough to be honest himself. Yeah, he's a coward. So anyway, back to Kay giving her mama was what?
So it doesn't matter if it's the truth. If it comes from me, it's got to be a lie, right?
Okay, that is not true. And stop being so dramatic.
Stop being so dense and just take a look around you.
Okay, all right. Both of you just
not wrong.
Down.
She needs to wise up.
Enough.
Truth.
Grace? Got some tea.
Okay, I have to pause here because what the fuck was that? Baby, we're in the middle of like an insane scandal. We're in the middle of an insane. Grace got some tea. The smile as she walks through, as if we are not in the middle of our lives blowing up, Eve.
Yeah. Yeah.
Grace?
But they needed to pan to Tabitha, because I need to see her expression of someone just walking in with her china, talking about,
right.
It's tea, let's have some. She should have been like, who the fuck told you to go get tea?
Yeah,
and use
also,
my shit?
Why aren't you offering me tea? This my house. Shit.
Yes.
Damn, y'all gonna drink up my tea and not even offer me any.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, but I just thought, oh my God, that was so funny to me. And why would Grace, you in the middle of something, bitch? Why are you going to have tea time? What are you doing? Yeah. We are in the middle of something. Oh,
she needs that tea with the honey.
Yeah.
Oh, did she get the honey?
Yeah. Well, Eve's her best friend. She should know that she likes honey in her tea, but she probably doesn't because she ain't no real friend.
Nope.
At all.
Why are you looking at me like that, Sam? You can't tell me you believe Kay. I mean, please, surely not.
I saw the look in Kay's eyes. She's telling what she believes is the truth. And when I look in your eyes, I see guilt. If what Kay says is the truth, I swear to God, I will never have anything to do with you again. And you! I can't wait to take you apart.
I know that's right.
They're both just looking
And look how
guilty
happy
as sin.
Eve is.
Looks like you're about to lose everything, Ivy. Can't believe his daughter. I saw the way he was with you just now. He's gonna hate you forever. But I'm sorry for you, David. I know you're gonna lose the respect of your son. But at least you won't have to deal with Ivy anymore. She won't be able to control us or manipulate us.
Go ahead, gloat. For now. We'll just see who wins in the end.
What about Ethan? What do you think Ethan's going to do when he finds out what you've done? What you really are? If I know Ethan, he'll never speak to you again.
He'll get over it.
Ethan? No, I can't lose Ethan.
Okay, so I put my note about David and Eve's conversation in two places for whatever reasons. I think I said it earlier than I needed to say it. They have that conversation wherein Eve gets her dose of reality after that confrontation between Eve and Ivy. So
Yes.
Eve is feeling very smug. And then David brings her back down to reality. Like, girl, no, you on thin ice just like us. If we go down, you go down. Hello, McFly, right? Like,
Yeah. And they all went to go have tea? Like, they all just decided,
Girl.
tea break. Let's have a tea break and go have tea and leave these people to talk.
I don't know. It's so dumb.
It is dumb. But I did love
so
her
dumb.
holding the tea because I kept thinking, yeah, that tea is piping hot.
Right?
That tea is hot.
So after the David and well, I think that's why my notes got mixed up, is because the David and Eve conversation happens amidst like this next part. So my next note is Sam confronts Ivy in the living room. So they all have tea, and then Sam is ready to fight. He's like, "All right, I've had my tea break. Let's get ready to rumble." So I have this clip. Like I told you, we're basically just watching this episode.
It's a good episode.
It is a good one.
So Sam believes his daughter. I actually have a second clip of Sam talking to Grace, so let's do that, and then we're gonna get into the confrontation, and we'll stop and go, But there's a good amount of. Let's see, how many minutes of clips do I have left? 3, 6, 7. Yeah, I have like 15 minutes of clips left. So, or not quite 15, but like 13 minutes. So we'll stop and start. But this is basically the end. So, all right. So we're going to get into the second clip.
Kay is telling the truth. Just look at her. All right? Look into her eyes. Okay, yes, you two have had a lot of problems lately. And maybe you've grown apart. But she's still your flesh and blood.
Mm-hmm.
There's still a mother-daughter connection there. I know there is. And if you look, really look into her eyes, you'll see she's telling the truth.
All right.
Oh, Tabitha.
Isn't it? Nothing but pain for everyone. Pain and more pain.
I know that's right.
So much pain. And this is only the beginning. It's going to get even nastier. Everyone in this room is going to have their lives turned upside down. Oh, I wish I had some popcorn.
Grace doesn't believe Kate, and that's it. It'll all be over. We'll be safe.
You are so wrong, Eve. Look at Sam. He's a cop, and he believes his daughter. Which means he won't let go no matter what. And if Grace doesn't believe Kay, he'll just keep digging, pulling the pieces together until he certainly knows the absolute truth.
I hope you're wrong.
You know I'm not. No, Sam won't stop until he knows that Ivy's guilty. That she engineered this whole thing. Blackmailed me into pretending to be Grace's husband. Blackmailed you into lying about the DNA results. It's all gonna come out. And there's nothing we can do to stop it. I'm gonna lose everything I love.
Find something else to love.
Remember when Kay was little? You two were so close you used to finish each other's sentences. Honey, she's your firstborn girl. That's such a strong connection. And a bond that is still there, I know it is. Now you can see that Kay is telling the truth, can't you?
Oh my God. You are telling the truth. You are.
No!
Shut up, John. Okay, so I was like, okay, we're getting somewhere. We are not. Like, of course, we are not getting anywhere because this
Welcome to watching Passions.
This won't last long.
Because this is a passion.
It would have actually been smarter for Kay to try to convince Charity of the truth because Grace would listen to Charity.
Grace would listen to Charity.
Yeah.
Grace would listen to Charity. But she can't talk.
Did Charity at no point have any premonition about this situation at all that they can reference? Like, hey, remember when Charity? I don't remember, but I'm wondering if there was ever anything.
Grace has had numerous premonitions about it, kind of, but Charity has had premonitions that involve like a bunch of people, and Ivy happens to be included. Yeah. But I don't know that she's had like Ivy and David specific premonitions. You know, like
just that Ivy's trying to come between them. Right? Like honestly, the photograph where she saw Ivy in the most weirdest couple photograph. Remember that weird, the black, and she's not even standing next to her husband, but it's a married picture of them.
Oh, maybe.
And the image changes to Ivy instead of her.
Yeah, but was that Charity's premonition or was that Grace's?
That was Grace. Like, Grace isn't listening to her own.
Yeah, Grace has been having a lot of premonitions about Ivy. She has since like almost since the beginning of the show. Like, yeah, she's had.
But their premonitions are so dumb.
They are, but she's been having those about Ivy for a long time, right?
Yeah.
Which is, it's just convenient writing that they don't ever include David in any of the like the bad feelings or anything. It's just,
and the premonitions always seem to be so self-centered, even though it affects harmony. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like
they're like
it's always the case. Yeah.
But it's like she was all in other people's business with those premonitions, like with finding out Teresa was in trouble in Bermuda and the explosion. Like, she kept having those premonitions and not being able to do anything about it because it was down in Bermuda. So what's the point?
She's so useless. She is such a useless character. It was nice.
She had. Hold on. She was
about
not.
to say it was nice today to actually see her do something. She found Kay.
She was a human find my.
But that wasn't even a premonition. That was literally like a god or angel or demon or whatever.
It still came from her connection to goodness. Whatever it is, it came from her connection to goodness, and it came from like whatever her power connection is.
Exactly.
It came from
she
that.
Prayed.
So she's not completely useless all the time. But honestly, how were they gonna ever know that Kay was there? Tabitha was about to feed her to the demons in the basement, right? Like, like they were like, well, we have to catch up to Kay. And what's the quickest way to catch up to Kay? Let's just have Charity go into a trance and walk straight to Kay, right? Like,
but here's also the thing. Okay, let's be real. This is how much they don't care for Kay. Wouldn't you go next door to say, hey, Tabitha, if Kay happens to come by, can you let us know? Or have you seen anything? They could have found her.
Yep.
Why did it take divine intervention for them to find out that she was next door?
Yeah. Well, they really do not care about her that much. Because I also will say, and I've said this for a few weeks now, why hasn't anyone called Hank? If it's all hands on deck, why is her uncle at the hospital telling Sheridan she did the right thing? Like,
and what does Noah know about what's going on with his family right now?
You know what? Good for Noah. He's gone no contact. He has gone no contact with these people for it. He's like, no, I'll call you. Y'all haven't even called me in 3 Christmases. This was like the first time I've even talked to y'all in 3 Christmases. So, yeah, no, he's like, whatever. So, Kay's missing. I don't care. It's like, of course she is. Y'all treat her like shit. Like, yeah. I'm gonna be an uncle. Yeah, okay, fine. Right. Don't call Luke. No, they call him, and he's just like, how did you get this number? So, okay. So Grace is saying, oh my God, I believe it. I believe you, Kay. You're telling the truth. This is when we confront Ivy, and Ivy starts to spin her little web, but she doesn't have to do much. She doesn't have to do much. Grace does it all. So here we go. The confrontation, part 1.
Oh, come on. Don't tell me you believe Kay because she has some look in her eye. That's crazy.
No, I'll tell you what's crazy. I've been trying to deal with all these horrible things that's been happening in my life, into Grace's life. I couldn't understand how things could have gotten so bad so fast. But now I know. This explains everything. Grace, we've been manipulated. This whole thing is a lie. You and I are still married. David isn't your husband. He never was your husband. You've gone through hell because of a lie. And you're not going to get away with it. I'm not going to let you get away with ruining our lives. Don't you see how this all makes sense now? Ivy made this whole thing up. She brought David here to our home to try to tear us apart. And she almost did.
I find it so hard to believe that anyone could be so...
devious.
Evil.
Look at her. You're looking at a picture-perfect description of devious.
Sam, this is too much. I'm appalled that you would think that of me. You're the father of my son, for God's sake.
What the fuck is that? Wait a minute. Let's use that.
Grace,
wait a minute. Let's stop there. You're the father of my son, for God's sake. Yeah, I only just found out about that. And why is that? Because you're a lying, devious-ass bitch.
Yes.
You're only...
Yes.
Play the air horn.
Point.
Play the air horn.
Play the air horn.
Thank you.
Oh, lying ass bitch. Like, girl, that is not helping your case at all. You're the father of my son. How could you think this about me? Bitch, I didn't know he was my son until 6 months ago. Are you kidding me?
Exactly. Right? Because you wanted to take revenge on the Cranes, and that was more important to you than having Sam raise his own child. Even from afar.
But let's keep going.
Well, a big scam. You and I don't have any problems. This was all a lie. We were manipulated. You were never married to David. Never.
Yeah, go on, ugly boy.
That's not fair.
But if I wasn't married to David, that means that John's not my son.
Grace, stop ruining the moment.
She's such a buzzkill.
You can still be a mother to him.
Right?
Oh, come on.
I'm with her.
Thank you.
What's the matter with you, Mom?
Kay, please, don't.
Don't what? You just got the greatest news ever. You're still married to Dad, and all you can think about is that John's not your son anymore?
Kay, are you lying to me? Did you really overhear David and Ivy talking?
Mom, a few seconds ago, you said you believed me, and now you take one look at John and suddenly you change your mind?
It's just so hard to believe.
You'd rather have some stranger as your son than believe your own daughter.
You have become quite the liar, Kay, lately. You know, you really have to.
I don't know what she's talking about.
Grace, honey, you can't be serious. You looked into Kay's eyes just like I did. I saw she was telling the truth, and you said you saw it too.
I know.
And now you're saying you don't believe her?
It's just, you know, I've always believed that John is my son. I believed it from the day that I met him. I can't believe he's not my son.
You mean you can't believe me?
No,
your own daughter.
It's not that. I just can't believe he's not my son.
Because you're a gullible bitch.
If Ivy did all these horrible things, if she manipulated us, how does she make me feel the way I feel for John?
Because you're gullible. Because you're fucking gullible. Bitch, you got. Just deal with it. You got, bitch. Like, Grace is irritating me. If she's so capable of doing, bitch, that boy walked through your door and you just were like, okay, you'll be my son now. Like, because you already believed the lie. It was easy for them to throw in another lie. Like, you already believed it. And so when they brought out a son and tugged at your gullible ass heartstrings because you're a fucking mark. She's a mark at the end of the day.
Or if Passions was smart, we can just later on just say you had these feelings because that's technically your nephew and that's your sister's kid.
Yeah. That would have been cool.
Sure.
But also, I mean, she kind of explains her feelings, and I still don't agree with it. But yeah, it's just another excuse not to believe her daughter.
Yeah.
No, she's so goddamn gullible. And my thing is, okay, if she is kind of walking it back and saying, well, now I'm not so sure, like, I'm just on the fence because, yes, I looked into Kay's eyes and it does seem like she's telling the truth, but I also feel this way because I feel a connection to John and I believe that he's my son. Let's interrogate that. Let's scrutinize that. Let's go down that line of thinking and do some further investigation. Let's do some more let's investigate again, right? But Grace is basically saying she doesn't want to investigate shit. This is my son and I know it. What?
But I also think
brother, this guy stinks.
She deserves that.
Yes.
What I was going to say is that, like, the one thing that I've noticed more and more about Grace is how selfish she's been since all of this has come out, because it's all been about her and her emotions and not about how it's affected everyone else in her life. And that goes for everything that involves her past, which she doesn't know about. It's so selfish. And so she's willing to just glob on to everything that gives her that connection that she doesn't remember, that she would just rather be selfish and burn all of these bridges of stuff that she physically knows to be true in the life that she has made. And she's willing to burn it all to the ground for something that she has no idea about. So be it David, be it John, be it Charity.
Yeah.
All of it is.
Yeah. She wants her perfect little family with her perfect little son and her,
Yeah.
And you paused it just in the right moment because look at Ivy's face. She's like, oh, I'm about to get away with this.
Yeah.
Grace is totally.
She's like, Grace is so gullible. Like, her face, like, God, Grace is so gullible. God, she's easy.
Oh, I am so going to get away with this.
Yeah. So here we go.
I have to have been married to David. I feel it. I can't lose John. I can't lose them.
You don't have to.
Brother, this guy stinks!
So it's not just about whether Kay is telling the truth or not. You can't stand to lose John, or David. You can't stand to lose David either. Is that what you're saying? You'd rather be married to David than to me?
Cut your losses, Sam. Cut your losses. This lady's an idiot.
So I also want to say this, and this is how Passions gives us something and takes it away. At the start of this clip, like to see Sam and Grace together, like in a united front.
With their daughter right there, the way it was framed.
But to see them together and like their chemistry and the way that they play off of one another is so beautiful. And I loved them together. But you realize you're never going to get that again.
No, it's over.
And it's so, because like to see them as a united front against Ivy, you're like, yeah, it's about time. Yeah. Oh my God. And you're like, Grace, stop ruining this for me.
She ruins everything. You ruin everything, you stupid bitch. She ruins everything. God.
So close.
I have one more clip. Y'all ready for it? Y'all want to talk some more, or you ready for the next half of this?
There's going to be a lot to talk about after the next clip.
All right.
Yeah. Because John is annoying the fuck out of me. Like, oh, I just lost a mother. Oh.
John's so annoying.
And my hair looks like a mop on top of my head.
He's not. I'm sorry. He's not great looking. And it does, the thing is, I think it's just the people around him make him look less good, because the cast of Passions is just like beautiful, right? Like so many of them are just like stunningly beautiful. And like then here comes walking in this just Joe Schmo off the street with his mop on his head, and like he's just not that great looking to me. I mean,
he has great lips. I love his lips.
Does he?
I think
does
so.
have that. Yeah, I will give him that. But you're also right that in the cast of Passions, like everyone in some way almost looks supernaturally attractive because of, be it a jawline, be it like just like cheekbones, like all of it. And then you look at him and he's kind of frumpy compared to everyone else.
He's kind of funky looking to me.
Yeah.
He's a little funky looking. Okay, so
better or worse than Reese?
Way worse. Reese is hot. Are y'all crazy? Reese is hot.
They him up. They put glasses on him.
Y'all are not. I refuse to accept the propaganda that Reese is some kind of ugly nerd. Reese is fine shit.
Him and his brother were underwear models.
Yeah, they are.
I'm saying, but in the way they're dressing him up here.
Yes. Yeah.
But I'm talking about this man's facial features. I don't. I think he's funky looking.
Look. He could be attractive to someone out there, and that's beautiful.
Of course. In the eye of the beholder, right?
Yes, I will say that, because I don't want anyone, but at the same time, he doesn't fit in like the Passions universe.
Yeah, he's also in the wrong age group, because he's hanging out with the young kids when he should be hanging out with like the Teresa's age group.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So he's also a creep.
With mommy issues.
He's also a creep with mommy issues.
Did that come before or after? Is it like the cause and effect?
Right. Chicken
like, what is it?
Yeah. I think he's always had mommy issues.
Yeah.
They're just exploded with Grace in the picture. All right. Oh.
She is a great mom when it comes to everyone but Kay.
Everybody but Kay. She's,
there's something there, I guess.
I don't know. I think she does a lot of ignoring Jessica too. Like, I think Jessica just doesn't take it the same way that Kay does. Right.
I think Jessica likes being left alone. Like, don't bother me. I'm doing my own shit on the side.
I think she doesn't. I think Jessica simply doesn't necessarily need quite as much attention, or it seems that way now, because we definitely see later on where the parenting of these two leads Jessica to, right?
Yes.
So it's just it just manifests later, right? Her troubled rebellious streak or whatever, it manifests later than Kay's does. But a part of that is because I think she's probably been bottling up a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And she was not paying attention to her own business, which got her involved in that shit.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. She's so nosy. She's so nosy. So here we go. The confrontation part 2. But Grace has decided she
doesn't want to believe it.
Yeah, she doesn't believe Kay. It took her, what, 10 seconds to change her mind?
Just looking at John and his little puppy dog, like, oh, I just lost a mommy. Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks so sad.
And it is sad, but like, girl, this is your family.
Yeah.
This is your family and it's being destroyed. And if what Kay is saying is true, you have a duty to your kids to like make sure that you didn't bring 2 random strange men into your home and started calling them your family. And started
one of the adults laid hands on your daughter.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. He did that more than once. Left marks on Kay. So, and I'm not forgetting that. So, here we go.
Grace, I want to know what you're thinking. Are you more worried about losing John or David than me?
Look, Sam, I'm just upset because I want to know the truth.
I told you the truth.
Just upset.
Sam, you know, it took me a long time to finally accept that I was actually married to David before I had amnesia.
I have to stop there. What do you mean it took you a long time to accept that you were actually married to David?
Immediately.
She believed it immediately. As soon as he said she liked honey in her tea, now that we're talking, since we brought that up earlier, as soon as he said that, she was like, I do like honey in my tea. I do like grapefruit juice. I don't know. I do have a scar on my foot or some shit. Like, girl.
And immediately kicked her husband out of his bed.
It took nothing. It took practically nothing. In fact, I think Ivy was surprised at how easy it was, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it did not take you a long time to accept that David was your husband.
And she is still refusing to divorce David.
Yeah.
Or even annul it because he has feelings for her.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then John came to Harmony. And I was still grieving over the loss of our unborn son.
Oh my God, girl.
And John came to me. And something that was missing inside of me was filled. He filled a hole in my heart. I believed that John was my son. I can't just turn those feelings off like a faucet.
You can turn your feelings for me off like a faucet. You kick me out of the house with a drop of a hat.
You refused to promise me that you wouldn't come between Charity and Miguel.
John has been your son for less than a year. I've been your daughter for almost 19. And yet, you can kick me out without even looking back at it, but when it comes to him, you hold on to him like he's the Holy Grail.
I just can't believe that John isn't my son. We have a connection.
Lies are your connection.
Grace is right, you know. She and John do have a connection, a huge connection, because in case all of you have forgotten, she and John share the same DNA. Ivy's right. I mean, that to me is proof enough that Kay is just a little.
Look at John.
confused.
Ugh, yuck. Put your hands down.
I don't know who she heard in the park that day, but it certainly wasn't David and me.
I am not confused. And I'm not lying either.
Kay, no one but God has the power to give two people the same DNA. John has to be my son. He has to be.
God. Grace. Good Lord.
You can't argue with DNA, Sam.
And that God's name is Eve.
John is my son.
Yes, remember when TC was trying to make the very same allegations that Kay is trying to make now?
Well, that was different. TC said he had a bad feeling about you, that you were up to no good. Kay has more than a feeling. She has proof. She overheard you and David talking about breaking up my marriage.
Well, I don't mean to disparage Kay, Sam, but she is an impressionable young girl. And her proof is simply a mistake. The DNA test results, that is actual solid proof.
Maybe. Something's not adding up here.
Agreed.
I believe my daughter is telling the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So, maybe the DNA tests were faulty.
Talk Talk about perfect timing. There's Dr. Eve. Why don't you ask her, Sam? Ask her if there's a problem with the DNA test results. What?
Girl, you can't be surprised.
And John, certainly you would know if there was some sort of irregularity, because if there was a problem with the tests, your dear friends, Sam and Grace, would really like to know. Well, Eve, tell us, were the DNA tests done properly, or might there have been some irregularity?
Oh, come on, people. Don't you ever watch Law and Order? Everyone knows those tests can be contaminated or even rigged.
Mm-hmm. Kay, what are you saying? Are you saying that Dr. Eve, your parents' good friend, rigged the tests? Well, are you saying that Eve is in cahoots with David and me too?
Yes, that is what I'm saying.
But in Ivy's defense, that seems really outlandish.
Yeah, for them, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, to say.
It does and it doesn't.
Ivy's play. Of course, that's Ivy's play. That makes the most sense to bring in Eve and use Eve. I mean, she's been using Eve in this way since basically the beginning of her scheme, right? Like, they trust you. So because they trust you, I'm going to use you. First, it was using her to get information on what was going on between Sam and Grace and like where they were. And then it escalated to these evil, nefarious the schemes of like rigging DNA tests, right? So, yeah, it's weird to me that Eve was seemed surprised that anybody is like asking her like, well, what about the DNA test, or that is coming up? Of course that's coming up. Of course that comes up, right?
Yeah.
I do want to say that I forgot about the Grace losing her child, and when she brought that up, it's almost like clicked to me why she is holding on to John, because now I can see it, like why it means so much, because she did lose a child. And if anything, Ivy needs to stop talking about that, or like trying not to bring it up, because you're the reason why she lost that child.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was because of your secrets that she fainted and fell down the stairs, blah, blah, blah. So like, you need to tread lightly before people start looking at you as to you're even the reason why she doesn't have a child. She cursed you technically, like, you know, brought out the evil or good powers to curse you, and that's why you're in that wheelchair. So I just realized like how much of this is really stemming from Grace losing her child.
Yeah.
Okay. And
So-
the timing, that I feel like that makes it suspicious too, right? Like,
I agree. Yeah.
the timing is suspicious. Grace loses her child, and now all of a sudden there's a long lost son to like soothe her pain.
Well, what I will also say is, you know, I can give Grace a moment of some empathy here,
because I don't know what it is like to lose a child and to go through all of that and to have your world kind of shattered in a way. Like when she brought that up, that memory of that episode in the rewatch, I remember watching it and feeling as powerfully as I did back in the day with the first time. Like that was so devastating, and it was really kind of like sad. And I remember having like that kind of empathy then, and I was like 1920 at the time when that happened. You know what I mean? So it's like to kind of feel that, and then to also remember that memory and feel it again is kind of powerful. But at the same time, when you see that, like, could you not see how that manipulation was probably in place to do something like that? And again, I don't know what it means to lose a kid. I don't know what it means to carry a kid and lose that kid and feel all of those feelings. And again, my heart goes out to you. But at the same time, it's like, oh, these puzzle pieces are falling into place. Like, this is the ultimate in manipulation. And of course, I would want to glob onto this long lost son that oh, this is kind of a replacement for something that I lost. Or now my love goes to this, the love that I could have had for this life that I was growing. And here I am being able to now make up for that. And it's like,
she transferred it to him.
It's so devious, and it really makes that villain arc like even all the more nefarious. And again, your daughter is just sitting here like, please.
Listen, this is the thing. When she brought up the miscarriage, right? I had to fix my face because I did go, ugh, like I rolled my eyes, and I do feel right. Like I do understand I do understand the weight of that to an extent, but like you said, Andrew, I've never had carried a child and lost a child. Like I don't know what that's like. That has never happened to me. So I had to fix my face because like that was really fucked up and that was really awful. And Ivy did have something to do with that. But part of the reason I had that response immediately to her bringing it up is because it was like, baby, you need to deal with that baby, not this grown-ass man that walked through your door that you do not know, have never seen. You need to deal with the actual grief of losing that baby. Yeah. But
as opposed to replacing him with
But trying
John.
to like transfer that like emotion onto John. Again, I will say, don't you think that the timing of him walking through your fucking door was a little fucking suspicious?
Right.
Especially now with all this other information, these, like you said earlier, the puzzle pieces are falling into place. It all falls into place, right? There's a lot of very odd, suspicious, weird things that have happened. And when Kay gives you the key to, here's the last puzzle piece, by the way. Oh, yeah, that was missing. Now I can see the full picture. And the full picture is John is not my son. And David was not my husband. He doesn't have any pictures to prove it. So he doesn't have anything to prove it beyond one certificate that could have been doctored. Right? I think there was also like they had paid off a priest to like say it, right?
Yeah.
That's right, that he married.
But again, let's reinvestigate. Where's that priest? Bring him back in. Right?
Let's do another DNA test.
Ivy apparently is out of money and out of friends. Let's see if she can wield any power now. Right?
I think it's so weird because like one moment she has no money, but other times she does, because even when she was drugging Eve's kids, she's in the same situation she was before, because Teresa's been Mrs. Julian Crane for a while, meaning she has no money, but she has means to like get a drug dealer, hire David. Like she has money.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know if she's paying David.
Well, she keeps saying she hired him. She said she hired him.
Yeah. But if you're blackmailing somebody, you don't really have to pay them. So maybe she was paying him, but now
she doesn't have to pay him because he's in love.
Yeah, and he's caught up in this fucking scheme. Yeah. She doesn't have to pay him anything. Yeah, so maybe I remember somebody putting on the Discord that she is broke. I know we've had conversations trying to figure out if she has money or if she isn't. And I vaguely remember it coming up fairly recently in one of the episodes that she doesn't have any money. Like we had the discussion and then I saw it in another episode. I could have dreamt that though. That happens sometimes where I like think I saw something and I didn't really see it. It came up in a dream. But yeah, no, Ivy has a lot less power than she did when she started this scheme.
Well, she's no longer Mrs. Crane.
Yeah.
And
so as
Crane
far as like
this
this priest and all of that, maybe she won't be able to have as much reach as she had before. Who knows? But it doesn't matter. They're not going to investigate shit.
No,
yeah. They're all just going on feelings and he said, she said, and who are we believing? As opposed to getting more evidence, like running another DNA test.
Yeah. So
outside of Harmony.
Yeah, outside of Harmony.
I'm
outside of Harmony. Just look. You can look at blood types, and sometimes even blood types can tell you if there's relations or not.
That's true. Yeah, we did those in Punnett squares in biology in like 9th grade, right?
Yeah.
To see if you
it's
could
not
possibly,
definitive, but
yeah, to see if
it
you
helps.
could possibly even be related, right? Like there's some people, it's like these two blood types could never make this blood type, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
two people that are A could never make a B.
Yep, something like that. I don't remember. So yeah, that's what's going on with Grace and these people over here. We have to talk about Tabitha real quick.
Yes, we do.
Tabitha, it was funny to me because the most explosive thing is happening in her living room, but she's like, you know what? I'm gonna go to the basement. And she goes down to the basement to
I'm not mad at it.
during like the best part of the fight. Honestly, she disappears during the best part, but she goes down to plead her case to get her powers back from the boys in the basement. And she's like, look at all this shit that I'm doing. Look at all the pain and suffering. And she brings up her little floating TV screen and is like, look, Louise and Sheridan have been broken apart. I didn't really have to do much because Beth and her mother are so evil. Which was funny. She talks about Charity and Miguel. They're broken up, and the upstairs in my living room, the pain and suffering is happening. All of these are seeds that I planted. You should give me my full powers back. And the boys in the basement are like, yes, you have done well, but this does not make up for all your many screw ups. And so then we get a montage of her and Timmy, like the hijinks that we've seen over the years. Like, do y'all want to talk about that?
The only thing I want to say,
made me laugh out loud the whole time. Sorry, but go on.
No, go ahead, finish. I'll speak up.
No, it was so funny to kind of see like the classic passions hijinks, especially when Timmy was involved and all of like the silliness. It's the reason why you love the show. So I mean, I wanted to just say that.
Yeah. No, I want to say that you have Tabitha going into the basement to take credit for all of the stuff that she just mentioned. And technically, she had nothing to do with them. She really didn't. Because Ivy's the reason for the Bennetts. Alistair's the reason for Sheridan and Louise. And Liz is the reason for Eve. So you didn't do any of that.
Yeah, she does say there's seeds that she planted. But now I'm thinking, what seeds? I don't think those germinated. I don't think the seeds she planted actually germinated. No. Like
the Sheridan and Louise, but in past lives.
Yeah, maybe that one she can claim for.
But right now, the reason that like she was with Antonio and stuff was because of the explosion, which was Alistair.
But also, I mean, they haven't stated it yet, but I think the whole baby thing is probably more along the lines the seeds that she's talking about.
Yeah, that's got somehow has something to do with her. We're not sure about that.
But that's the future.
Yeah, that's
not
true.
even like right now that she's taking credit for.
No. If the babies are like one of her seeds, it did break up Ethan and Teresa. It broke it broke up Charity and Miguel. Like if those is her seeds, it did break up Charity.
But she didn't bring up those points.
Yeah.
No,
she didn't.
She didn't. She brought up Liz. She brought up Sharon Louise. She brought up the Bennetts.
I think I could.
Maybe she's
I could
just
see if she
catching them
brought
up
up
on the
Miguel and
story.
Charity and her work on Miguel and Charity, considering she did give Kay a bunch of help in like trying to break them up. But yeah, the boys in the basement are not giving her powers back. Let's just say that.
Look,
she has some powers. They're not going to give her full powers back.
Yeah, because she specifically said.
Oh, no, go.
Go, Maria.
No, I was going to say she specifically says Sheridan and Louise being kept apart by Antonio's illness, and look at Beth manipulating Louise again, but she has nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
So
and she's like, Liz moving in with her sister, because I wrote it down, because this is why I wanted to talk about it. I wrote it down. She was like, Liz moving in on her sister's husband. She has nothing to do with that. And right in my own living room, the holier-than-thou Bennett's being torn apart at the seams. All these horrible situations are the results of seeds I planted long ago. Again, I don't think she did. If I could bring this kind of pain to Harmony without my full powers, think about what I can do. if my powers were restored, I could destroy every relationship in the world. Yeah. But yet you actually didn't do that.
So what you're telling me is Tabitha is also very bad at her job. Just like everybody else in this town, Tabitha also is so bad at her job. I love that we're going, like, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, Tabitha really didn't have anything to do. She hasn't done much in a long time.
Here's also the thing. This is the opportunity that she could use to kind of manipulate the situation. So she's like, hey, look at all this discourse that is going on. Why not give me my powers back?
Yeah.
And she's an evil witch, so I would lie about it too.
Giving it a try. She's giving it a try. Okay. Yep. Well, that's all I have for this half. It was a long one. It was a good long one.
It was good.
It was.
But it was a good time. Andrew, where can the people find you?
Find me on the Discord.
Maria?
Same. Find me on the Discord.
Find me on the Discord, baby. You can go to patreon.com/passionspodcast and sign up for whatever tier you find most agreeable. And you too can join the Discord. It is not for the free members. It is only for like the paid members. But we're having a lot of fun. We're learning new things about Discord every day. Because we're older people and we, I didn't know anything about Discord until I started this. So,
it's
pretty cool
for one of the older members of the group because we did a poll. So if people don't know, recently there's been a book that's come out that we did a book club and we started talking about it, and they were talking about the demographics of people who watched Passions back in the day, and I took a poll to see how old were people watching it just from the community. I had to redo the poll because there were people younger than 12 watching this show.
I was a literal child. I was 10 years old when this show started. And and I was a child watching the show. Like I was like 18 or 19 when it finally ended. So I had just become of age. So you put the poll out. When did you start? 12? I was like, I was 10.
Well, I was going with the demographics that NBC were using to track the popularity of the show, and it was they saw that it was more popular between the younger 18 crowd, or what normal soaps demographics is, which is 18 to 49. That's where I fell through. So I was like, oh, let me see, our community where we fell, and so many were like, I can't even fill this out because I started it from 12 because it was 12 to 18. That's actually a demographics. No one tends to look at before 12 unless we're talking about cartoons. So all you youngsters watching something that probably was inappropriate.
I had no business watching Passions, but I make this joke all the time, and there is definitely some truth to it. My parents let the TV raise me. They let the television raise me. Like,
I was a younger generation, but the same situation.
I was at home a lot watching TV. At home alone, watching TV.
Exactly. And as Daisy said, credit to her, we all turned out okay. No one put anybody in the basement or in a pit.
We all turned out okay. Yeah, just because I can relate to Beth doesn't mean anything.
No, not at all. Right? Exactly.
All right, so that was great for part 1. Come back for part 2 next week. And with that, everybody, you are my passion for life.